break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back for week number 4 of the ECAC Top 8 Plays of the Week. Now, at this point, you're probably realizing two things. One, that's right, I'm going to be with you all season long as we jump through the best moments of every week. And number 2, wow, Septilence really only wears one thing when he's not on the clock. And I can't even defend myself, it's a comfortable outfit. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into week number 4 and see what these players brought to the table to beat out their opponents and be victorious. Wake Forest was already up a game, there were 4 minutes left on the clock, and they just couldn't find that first point to take the lead and put them up 2-0 in the series. But in a final moment of success, Malone clears it from one coast to another and finds an open goal, giving Wake Forest the lead once again.
These Champ 3 and Champ 2 is doing. I mean, seriously, look at Malone making advantages for himself.
Wow.
And he will put Wake Forest on the map. This game number 5 could just go their way.
I just want to say Malone just said, I'm going to show you what a Champ 3 can do. All right, buddy?
On a control map in Overwatch, your team must capture 100% of a point to succeed. 99 just won't cut it. King Rock from Keene University was fully aware of that and didn't just find a Death Blossom. He found a full-blown Death Garden to keep his team alive.
Sound barrier to go away as well, especially now that you have your own. It's going to be a little bit more breathing room. Doesn't look like the Winneco. Okay, there we are. Now it's coming up big. This Reaper has bloomed.
That was just gorgeous amount of patience coming.
GVSU Blue found themselves up by 5 rounds, and it's always better to turn that 5 into a 6. It's incredible, however, that this team doesn't always need all 5. It can come down to just one player and how much they can really GVS do.
An Illusion delivers with efficiency. 3 in a row. No time left, even if they had the chance at orbital strike out of the last.
This battle between Muskingum and St. Francis was insanely close. Only 3 players in a round, and there were 1 player left on both sides, both down to their final stock. Things were looking pretty strong for St. Francis, their Luigi only at 40%, but it was up to Splat to do anything but.
Just keep him off stage with that Zare. Oh, that spot right here for Teo.
If that block didn't disappear,
oh,
no way.
Oh, just steps on the
pressure plate.
A tale as old as time, Pace White versus Pace Gold, and Pace White's morale was through the roof as they won a fight, but little did they know, this was Lofi's world, and they wouldn't be living in it for much longer.
Going in with the blade.
Uh-oh, blade is out. It's hacked. It doesn't matter, though. Slashes away for 2. Looking for a 3rd. Looking for 4. Won't get it just yet on the blade. However, the slash and dash works out. Lofi's got 3. Looking for everybody else on this team. It's a white.
The Inkling versus...
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's gonna
jumped into
it.
Corner judges go for 1, 2, yeah, he needs more. And
They're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. Collins walks it in.
Toy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, gunning.
Hey friends, welcome back to another season of the ECAC presented by Esports U. I'm Mr. Bepic, back in the booth with my good friend Pyro J. Pyro J, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing well, Bepic. Thanks so much for welcoming me, my good friend as well. And you know what makes the best bonds, the best friendships, Bepic?
What's that?
Rocket League. Nothing like bonding over some car soccer. And ECAC, the regular season, which is now finally kicking into gear. This is where the friendship just escalates, Bepic.
100%. You could not be more right with that statement. 91 teams in this division of the ECAC, the Champ Plus division. So a lot of people bonding over Rocket League. SUNY Poly or Wildcat Esports and Louisiana Tech. Two of those teams, I mean, not bonding during this upcoming series, but definitely outside of it when they take the field for their first match of the season. They got to start their season off right.
And don't forget, folks, best of 7. So we got quite the journey to take here to really determine what that best team is, especially straight out the gate in this season. We've got game 1 already ready for you all. No wasting time here on the Esports U Showdown for the ECAC. Let's get it going.
Let's. Louisiana Tech in orange and SUNY Poly in blue, and I'm liking it so far. Very aerial based, a lot of meeting one another in the air. Jazz on very little boost, was running on fumes right there to try and get a block, putting the ball into the corner. Now peek up in a tough spot, needs some help, and Jazz back in the nick of time, keeping us scoreless, but a lot of action early.
Most certainly, and I'm really looking at the SUNY Poly team. I mean, in this Champ Plus division, Bepic, you never know what kind of players you're gonna get, right? But I'm seeing a legendary baller tag out of Toucan. That is the SSL, the highest rank that you could achieve in the Hoops division. Some other GC tags from SUNY Poly, so they're showing off to their opponents at LA Tech that they mean business.
Yeah, that is not an easy tag to get, that legendary baller. I play Hoops thinking it's an easy tag, but it is not an easy game mode. Speaking of, not so easy save that Toucan made, followed up by a quick rebound out of Jazz, and that'll start off the scoring for Louisiana Tech.
Wow. And you know what? I can't really understate SUNY Poly on their defensive abilities there. Toucan had to leap for the touch off the backboard, but it looks like backboard is the prime real estate of LA Tech, because immediately they're ready to score on it. First goal of our regular season coverage, at least, is in.
Oh, Peacock was trying to get it center right there. Vihas was waiting, but not the optimal touch as the defense thwarted any kind of planning right there. Now, back to it. SUNY Poly had the bulk of the possession to start off this game, but it has since dwindled as they've had to play a lot more defense this last 30 seconds or so, including that goal they conceded.
Yeah, it's still kind of reigning that dominance after that goal. It gives them a surge of momentum almost, especially as they're trying to crash the boards here. Peek up, the touch in the corner. The options have to go and recover defensively because that's a big long clear. And, well, the long clear can either catalyze an offense or bring into situations like this. Jazz leaps up for the shot, knocks it home.
Look at this dime, though. Vihas used their front bumper coming from underneath the ball to pop it over the defense and put it square into the SUNY Poly box. That is an absolutely perfect pass center to Jazz, and to be there as well, trusting in your teammate to get you there, is not an indication of a team that hasn't played together very long. So maybe week 1 of the ECAC, but that was some chemistry being shown off for the second goal.
And it was in stark contrast to how they were defending earlier. They were really going deep back in the zone, ready to meet long clears. I was like, okay, I guess LA Tech's playing passively. Nope, not at all. They just know the situations and when to rise to the occasion, as well, I think Munch Z was trying to do exactly that, but now it's Toucan to take the shot. Top corner is going to be a little wide, and Wesh just can't keep the possession rolling. SUNY Poly not without their chances, just haven't had that final moment, I think, Bepic to execute.
Now, not quite yet, and they're still hunting for possession again. That double commit's definitely not going to help, and then Peek up getting that bump on Wesh, who was trying to probably psycho redirect that ball to keep possession in their name, but it didn't work because of that bump. So smart defense. It's holding SUNY Poly at bay, though that is a pretty good pass, and Toucan going to shoot it a little bit wide. So the chances, like you said, are still there, but the accuracy an issue at the moment, and Vihas an issue right there. Munchie will stop the counter.
Oh my. Well, that counter is quite something else. Toucan has to stretch for the save. Peek up denied on the shot as well. I think SUNY Poly really got in their heads that possession needed to work with them, and then barely had the reinforcements alive to defend. They've got to do it again. Jazz off the backboard, but Munch Z plays flip-flopping in the air, has a pass out to Wesh. Oh, and this could be the chance that Munch Z needs. Can't get it over top of the defense. I don't think there's any getting past this Louisiana Tech defense.
Oh, their reflexes. This must be 3 cats playing Rocket League right now because these reflexes are on another level. I mean, Vihaz got up almost as soon as their 4 wheels touched the ground, and that is so difficult to do, to make a save like that. Jazz was behind them, might have made the block, but still, Vihaz getting the ball first aids the defense because Jazz can serve boost and find a clear. Have a chance like that. Almost a tight angle scored, but it's still just wasting clock, and SUNY Poly has to find some offense ASAP. Well, they've got offense, actually. They need to find some scores ASAP.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, offense that has results to it on the scoreboard. That was almost their chance, Wesh. And you can tell the desperation from this team right now. 0 boost on the sidewall just to get some kind of shot on, just to have the mirage of pressure against LA Tech. What will beat them in the last 30 seconds? Not that attempt as Jazz long. Clear to the corner, pokes out. Peek up normally there for the shot, but this time around just has to defend. Last defender back, not in position. And Wesh sees the vulnerability. They're on the board.
Let's watch this again. This was Wesh all the way. Took it in their own half. Got the flip reset into wave dash to throw off P-Cup. Send them like they were on skates right there past the play and slotting it home. That's the finishing touch we've been looking for this entire game out of SUNY Poly. So 15 seconds left. This game is not over whatsoever, and Wesh has the ball.
SUNY Poly 2K could catch this ball. Just only a penny's worth of boost, though, so there's nothing they could do with it. Munch C, desperation pinch there. The shot attempt could not be connected, and the ball dies on the ground. Despite the late game heroics from SUNY Poly, they will be found short as Louisiana Tech takes game number 1.
The benefits, though, of this being a potentially 7-game series, the best of 7, is that SUNY Poly really woke up there at the end of game 1, and it wasn't enough to take the game, but they're only down by 1 game in what could be a very long series. So no sweat right there. I think that kind of game 1 helps a team a lot more when it is an extended series compared to a best of 5. So I'm looking out for SUNY Poly very early on here if I'm Louisiana Tech, because they gave up a lot of pressure there towards the end of game 1.
They did. And you know what? That shows what SUNY Poly can do when they're working under pressure, is they can start to get those shots on. My issue, Bepik, is I don't know how LA Tech look when they're behind and they are starting to crash the boards. I feel like that might be the most dangerous sequence of events in Rocket League. So we'll see if LA Tech get a lead so that we can see how SUNY Poly behaves in that situation. Maybe we'll get it in game 2, folks. Let's get the cars on the field. 5 minutes on the clock and a chance for SUNY Poly to attack back.
I just want to see some more dimes from Vihaz and Jazz, because they were dishing in that last game. Those corner passes, getting it center to one another, I could watch those types of plays all night because it was pristine, and there's an opportunity here. I mean, P-Cup's going to look for Vihaz center, so I like the idea. Maybe not as clean as the passes earlier, but still just as effective, as that was almost an opening goal.
It was, and you know, it's another mention to SUNY Poly to keep that defense intact. Make sure the range is wide across the field, that they're covering the right areas. The predictions are there as to where LA Tech are going to slot the ball. Often it's those infield passes. Luckily for SUNY Poly, LA Tech are not connecting on those passing chances, but with 2 opportunities already in the first minute, I don't think that's the last chance they'll get.
Definitely not. Challenge game is still on point for LA Tech, so they should get more possession soon, but P-Cup's out of boost. Pick up the midfield, though. That's countered by a Toucan corner steal. The transition still in effect. Great read by Wesh. Now they've got space. It's a 1v1 effectively. No, 2v1. Toucan moving forward to grab a demo, but Wesh and Munchie were thinking otherwise, looking for a pass center. So they'll grab possession here in the orange half of the field, but could have been a better counterattack. That's a dunk from P-Cup. Back wall read, no good, but Vihaz is there to end the play with a score.
Wow, this is LA Tech on the counterattack is just too ferocious. I mean, if P-Cup misses, you think it's all over, but no, there's more firepower coming from Vihaz and SUNY Poly, and these transitions to offense to defense really need to ground themselves in communication. If you're sending one to each shot and then another one to the rebound, maybe you're a little more cohesive on that approach, but instead they give it up. And LA Tech, they're back in the lead again. P-Cup, whoa, baby, saved by Wesh.
Another one of those beautiful infield passes that I'm becoming a huge fan of LA Tech for. But here we go. Infield pass on the other side of things. Toucan can double it. Leaves it for Wesh, and neither one will find the back of the net. But I like what SUNY Poly is going for. They're still playing confidently in offense. That's what you need, even despite playing this entire series so far from either behind or in a tied game state. So keep going for plays like that. Keep going for fast shots that'll eventually mistakes out of the defense. Toucan just got it to go.
Man, if there's one loose end of this defense right now, it could be P-Cup from LA Tech. That's the only way that SUNY Poly were able to score in the last game, was they were caught out of rotation. And on this counter, got the stop, but not enough. Credit still to SUNY Poly. If they didn't have the power on that shot, it would have gotten past P-Cup. And that is the player exactly to save it away. So they're trying to stand their ground and respond against the force to be reckoned with of SUNY Poly.
SUNY Poly is peppering the net at the moment, but that defense holds for now. P-Cup transition, looking to get it center, but ran out of boost and also met a big ol' Wesh there on the near post. That's solid defense for SUNY Poly. But over the midfield line as well. Vihas was the first to challenge, but got the ball poked over their head. P-Cup was 50-50'd into a pass center for SUNY Poly, who are they're playing around the net right now. They're trying to get chances on the inside, but they're being forced out by LA Tech at the moment. And that is stunting this offense as Jazz gets back in time to again force it to the outside.
Yeah, Jazz has played really smart off the ball plays as well. You saw the bump in rotation there, actually taking out the third man, the shot taker. Speaking of shot takers, what a Jazz. Barely saved on the goal line, up again. Can't get past Jazz and SUNY Poly. Oh man, what answer do you have after that? That one so close to the goal scoring opportunity. Hold on, P-Cup past one, defended at the midfield line.
This defense is chaotic, but it works for LA Tech, and it looks like it'll be called into action again. This ball going center to Toucan. Jazz, of course, there for the save. That's a very great play, worth the 75 points. That'll be added to Jazz's tally, but still needing block after block as SUNY Poly is not relenting offensively. They've got about 75 seconds left on this clock to take the lead here. Toucan has Muncie in front, but P-Cup manages to evade and get the save.
My God, again and again, they just won't allow it. No leads for SUNY Poly. Boy, are they knocking on the door and still trying to just barge through. A breath of fresh air for LA Tech as a long clear translates into a backboard pass. Jazz eventually there and maybe trying to set up another play. LA Tech just haven't gambled it yet on these possessions, staying in equalized territory. Maybe it takes these long-standing offensive stints for them to get into form, but is there even time for that? 30 seconds left in the final minute. Otherwise, we got overtime.
It's been the follow-up that's been the problem for LA Tech in this game. They'll find clears, but they don't have much to respond to whatever SUNY Poly has in defense. I mean, they'll get a player on the ball defensively, and then LA Tech just kind of backs off. So overtime looking likely. Unless SUNY Poly can do something with this final play. No, actually it's a transition that is kind of just given right to Wesh with a great touch. Now Jazz is beat. That net's open. Vihas and P-Cup back. Toucan's flick, little high. Jazz will be able to block it. This should be grounded. Unless P-Cup decides to keep it in the air. Looks like where we're staying for the time being. Wesh a pop, and Jazz will wisely play it to the ground.
Yeah, Jazz says enough with this, please. Can we have some extra time? So, granted, here it is. And there's no better indication that this division of ECAC is going to be a fiery one this season, folks. Overtime already in game number 2. Firepower offense, this time especially in this game from SUNY Poly. They want that equalized scoreline on the series mark, but they just can't get through for that second goal. It's given up by Toucan. Around the corner goes P-Cup. We talked about the follow-ups. There's one from Jazz between him and Vihas is able to knock it down. The follow-up comes through for the win in game 2.
Wow, I have to feel like LA Tech kind of stole that game. I mean, they were surviving there at the end of regulation and then into overtime. They really only had one good possession, and it's an aggressive challenge defensively that Suni Poly allows the ball to get center with, and then that's the game. Vihaz and Jazz won't be denied. 2 goals for Vihaz there on 4 shots. Despite getting outshot, LA Tech take that one. So that right there is a prime example of what good defense can get you.
It certainly does. It's funny how we talk about teams breaking under the pressure through defense, but I think really what we're seeing is Suni Poly put all their energy into offense, and then when it finally comes back against them, they just don't have the resources or the wherewithal or the cohesion to keep it taken down on defense and be resilient. One thing to note as well, LA Tech on their 2 goals in the first game and in the second game all were assisted. You had 2 from Jazz in game 1 for the goals and 2 goals from Vihaz. But we talked about those follow-ups, Bepic. Although they miss the mark sometimes, when they do hit, that's how they score.
That's exactly right. I mean, their offense is threatening when, like you kind of touched on earlier, they're allowed to play extended offense, but otherwise it looks a little bit on the weaker side. But their defense more than made up for that at that last game, and I can't blame Suni Poly, honestly, for getting aggressive there in offense, because they had so much possession, it felt like they could get aggressive and then have plenty of time to get back in defense as LA Tech tries to recoup their boost totals, but not the case when Jazz is as threatening as they are in the counter, especially in that last game, as they look. So, gotta be careful. Now, getting into game 3, you don't want to go down 3-0, Pyro. That is almost a death sentence in Rocket League Best of Sevens.
Oh dear, is it ever. But hey, it also sets you up for maybe one of the best stories to tell the grandchildren years and years from now is, hey, that ECAC Best of 7, you wouldn't believe the reverse sweep we started that season with, that winning season. You never know, Bepic, but yeah, I think I'm with you. Suni Poly, they want to win here in game number 1. They're going to have to get some kind of possession before LA Tech throw at them what they know best is those backboard passes cleared into shots. Jazz can clear that away from the dangerous territory that ball was residing in.
More aggressive offense. Wesh was last player back there and was still pushed up over the midfield line where the ball was almost right there. So potentially something to look out for if you are LA Tech to potentially exploit. And, well, their defense just got exploited. Suni Poly just put a shot on net and it somehow finds its way in.
There's been these very minute lapses in the defense of LA Tech that concede goals. Those are the only moments where they come. Yep. It's not long-standing pressure from Suni Poly. It simply never is. Not in each of the goals they've scored in each of these games. It's a hard shot, but it's from like the half-court line, and LA Tech just can't react in time. So there may be a solution to the madness here as Suni Poly, they lead in game 3.
Their defense is human after all, that LA Tech back line. Now we get to see how Suni Poly defends a lead. That's the big question we were proposing in previous games. Now we finally get to see an answer. And so far, they're not playing as aggressive. It looks like they've backed off, but have plenty of players in defense to protect this lead. And it's patient play. I like it. Plenty of boost to work with, plenty of space to usually work with, and unless LA Tech makes a huge play to spread the defense apart, then it'll be tough to score against this Suni Poly back line.
Yeah, I can't do anything but expand on that point, Bepic. I mean, you saw the 50-50s taking towards side wall, back up the wall, instead of crashing into the infield where maybe LA Tech can get an advantage, which they certainly have here. Hold on, counterattack looking lethal. 2 can't keep it up. Peek up wants the pass. Is there a shot taker? There could be in Vihaz, matching up with Munch Z. Although there was a double commit, Munch Z, the 3rd defender, was able to lock it up.
And the reason this play is still going is because Suni Poly tried playing an aggressive out style where they only had 1 player back to defend while 2 were pushed up. And they didn't find the clear, but they defended quite well, despite only having 1 player for half a second there. But now back into offense. We get to see LA Tech and their back line back in business here. About the 2-minute mark here in game 3. Suni Poly desperately needing a win in this series. LA Tech knows that. They know if they find another goal or 2, they can be in a very good spot to take this series. And you don't want to concede a second before you score your first. Jazz knows that. It's a big block.
Oh my. The Jazz seems to be putting on the cape and saving the day here for LA Tech again and again. There's some very weary mistakes here occurring on the defensive side of LA Tech. They keep centering the ball for SUNY Poly, but yeah, as I said, Jazz has stepped in to save the day and continue LA Tech's strategy of surviving, as we talked about for so long. Will they have that moment of thriving, though? All they need is one flash in a pan, lightning in a bottle moment to get the scoreline even again.
Still retreating, and it's P-Cup back once more. It's a nice challenge on no boost as well. Second one not so great, but again, tough to do that on 0 boost in the tank. So SUNY Poly, with more time spent in offense. P-Cup chips it over Toucan, but Munchie right there to protect the midfield line. Now we're seeing extended offense again. This is feeling reminiscent of the end of Game 2, which was tied, and that's how we got to overtime. And that is not what LA Tech can afford right now. They need to be aggressive. They need to press the issue, take it into the blue end of the field, and make the SUNY Poly back line do a lot of work.
Oh, you know Wesh wanted that shot just off the cheeky angle. 3/4 of a minute remaining now. The SUNY Poly, they've done their job for almost the entirety of regulation time. Can they finish strong here and keep LA Tech on the shutout spree? Wesh, waterfall pass down to Toucan. Vihas can't collect, so Toucan makes them pay.
Tough read. That mid area of the sidewall has been dominated by SUNY Poly this game. They have looked very good, challenging on the orange side of the field on the sidewall. Not too high, but kind of close to the ground. So that's gotten them a lot of possession here, and I believe set up that second goal. And I'm trying to remember their first, remember how that got set up, but regardless, the 2-0 lead is very safe unless answered quickly off kickoff with 15 seconds left. It'll be difficult for the comeback to happen unless everything gets thrown at the blue box here.
There could be a chance. Vihas, one final desperation attempt is denied by Wesh. That will do it, folks. SUNY Poly able to answer back at LA Tech's strong start, and almost immovable object of a brick wall of defense is finally shattered, torn to pieces, and instead the shutout from SUNY Poly is what wins them their first game.
Interestingly enough, the winning team was outshot for the third straight game. SUNY Poly only had 4 on target, but they were able to do enough with that. And I'm wondering if that was because they retreated a little bit once they scored that first goal and didn't have the same amount of possession they had in Game 2, but they did fine. Their defense looked solid, and they were not making too many mistakes defensively outside of the occasional double commit. So that is a recipe that they can replicate going forward.
Yeah, and again, speaking on LA Tech, I mean, they have the ability to do the same thing that SUNY Poly did defensively. We've seen it before where they just allow nothing through but these small lapses in the midfield play, these hard shots. And then we saw one backboard flub from Vihas off of a very wacky pass at the top of the ceiling. It's kind of these reactionary plays, Bepic. Like, yes, standardized Rocket League rotation and typical 50-50s. If you do that well, you should be good. But these on your toes plays, these snap reactions, how do you interact and how do you act against those moments? SUNY Poly, I think, won out those moments.
That's true. And then in offense, I mean, LA Tech really didn't make SUNY Poly have to make any of those snap adjustments, snap reads with a quick challenge that's on target like their counterparts did in that game. So we'll see if they can adjust to that, have a bit faster paced offense is what I think they need. Go back to those quick passes in the infield that were so crisp in the first 2 games of this series that were catching SUNY Poly out time after time. That could be the thing that needs to change for LA Tech, and well, I mean, that's a pass off the back wall, Pyro, and hey, it's a P-Cup goal.
If it ain't broke, then don't fix it, Mr. Bepic. That is a routine play right now for LA Tech. Backboard is there. Is there highlight right there. And as this game does go along, it looks like we'll re-enter momentarily. Bepic, we've been here before. I think we've got a special short radio broadcast.
That's funny. I've only ever been on a radio broadcast with you, Mr. Pyro J, so funny stuff. As now in offense is SUNY Poly right off kickoff. They went straight to the orange corner. And with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left, it is that 1-0 scoreline. If you forgot after, you didn't think you'd have to remember that, but it's really just back and forth play in the midfield right now. Fighting for possession, though we entered that LA Tech box for half a second, though the defense is all over. A strong clear the other way, and now you rejoin us in the SUNY Poly corner.
Beautiful. Bepic, I could see it in my mind's eye. You painted the illustrations perfectly. But can we paint the goal line here too? We wanted to see that colorful goal explosion, but no. It goes out and backed away on the backboard once again. Peakup trying to escape disaster here as the ball reaches the half-court line again.
This has been a much more possession-heavy game. Well, that's the wrong way of putting it. It's been a battle for possession-heavy game. Neither team has really had that heavy possession that has seemed to be the key to success in at least the majority of the game so far. It has been a midfield game 4. And I'm not sure at the moment which team that favors. If we see the passing plays of LA Tech, of games past, then I think it favors them because those are quick hits that you can apply to the defense. But SUNY Poly can easily catch out the LA Tech back line, which has made mistakes before. Not here, though. Great save, Peakup.
Yeah, and hey, I'll repeat it. Great save, Peakup. I was knocking that player earlier. I said, maybe that's the loose end. Maybe that's the weak link. No. They're very strong right now, but not strong enough. Wesh comes down with a meteor strike that gets past Jazz.
That was the first extended possession we've seen for a while, and it ended up in a low boost situation. I think Vihaz and Jazz were both low-ish in the tank, so they couldn't make the perfect play to keep the ball out of the SUNY Poly hands. And well, these SUNY Poly players are very much good enough to put the ball where they want it to when they've got an offensive advantage.
Oh, certainly. And listen, tied up scoreline. I feel like that's our comfort zone this series. We've been here before, and it lasted all the way till an overtime. So that halfway point, will that be our destination? Perhaps players started to find their groove as they start to unveil their fangs offensively. Starting to get some very powerful shots at net. Toucan has scored, I know, at least 2 this series, looking for a third. Vihas sends the other way and could have an opening for a pass here. Puts it right into the danger zone. Toucan, though, able to combat the effort there from Peakup. Shot denied by Wesh. SUNY P surviving out the threat of their... Oh, the skin of their teeth. No longer Vihas, a sharpshooter.
Oh, that was so pretty. The slow down from Jazz to shoot the defender past them, and then the absolutely pixel-perfect pass center to Vihaz. I love it so much. And the shot as well from Vihaz should not go uncommended. Bottom right, it was the corner up and in to throw the defense off even more. That was beautiful, quick offense from LA Tech. That's how you play a back-and-forth game.
Yeah. Oh, man, some players are just dialed in, and you love to see those moments where it all comes together. LA Tech have been trying to reestablish their dominance in this series ever since their first 2 wins. And, well, after getting shut out, I think 2 goals in a fairly low-scoring affair of this series is a great response. Will it be enough, though? About a minute remaining here. Munch Z. There's some communication here between SUNY Poly as to who's going to get that ball. It's Toucan out to Wesh to an empty corner, and no read there, no boost to get there anyway. Munch C has to peel off, and well, the communication, if it tightens up here, SUNY P have some good offensive looks.
They do. Things are just getting so awkward right now, and it seems like SUNY Poly's come out of that relatively unscathed as they have possession, but long-term defense is not something that LA Tech is unopposed to, as they've been very, very good on their own goal line, and this time no different. They find a transition out, they grab some boost in the midfield, and they will waste a decent chunk of this clock now. And the ball's in SUNY Poly's court. They have to score in the next 30 seconds, or they will be on series point, and that's a tough comeback. I mean, it's not 0-3, but down 1-3 in a series is still not great.
Oh, boy. What is this from Peakup? No. Mr. Bepic, what am I watching?
Don't ask me. That's a panic touch. If I'm to apply my deep Rocket League analysis, P-Cup realized there was someone coming in the midfield and put all their focus on that one attacker and didn't realize that there might be a toucan in their own box cherry picking.
Oh dear. I am now imagining a toucan in a jungle picking cherries out of a tree. I don't think that actually exists, but what does definitely exist is 5 seconds left on this clock. Could it be a long clear from Jazz to Vihas? No. Look there. Suni P will not go down 1-3 in the series just yet, as they do give themselves an overtime chance.
LA Tech won the only other overtime in this game, and it is a good start from them. Jazz serving dishes left and right, 10 seconds into OT, winning it for their team.
Okay, LA Tech, forget about overtime. Attention is due to that shot right there. Jazz, monumental, doomsy dish on that overtime goal, giving them now match point in this best of 7 series, trying to set the tone well in this ECAC Champ Plus League. And that is every player with a goal there, Mr. Bepic. It's well done from this squad.
Although they lost their every goal assisted streak, which is a little sad, but they won the game, so I don't think that the players will care too much. But that is another game where the winning team did not outshoot their opponent. It was 7-7 in terms of total shots there. So defense is very much a key in this series, and LA Tech, I don't want to say they had the best defense in that game because both teams had their moments, but I mean, 5 saves to 4. If you're just going purely by numbers, then that's where LA Tech got their advantage.
That's fair. I think that's what we've seen from LA Tech all along. Very resilient, very sound defense. It takes proper communication to not double commit in some of the very shaky scenarios that SUNY Poly have been trying to put on LA Tech. So if that can withstand just one game longer, then we have our first win on broadcast for ECAC that could indeed go to LA Tech Blue. Match point in this best of 7, 5 minutes on the clock, and SUNY Poly, they've got some work to do.
There's still plenty of room for a tale for the grandkids for SUNY Poly. I think a 3-game comeback in week 1 of the ECAC is worth telling your grandchildren about, but you have to start that comeback off on the right foot, and that is nice, an explosive foot. Toucan starting things off up to West. Toucan's on the back wall. Do we see a redirection here? Not quite. Toucan went for it, but the play unfortunately was not to be.
Yeah, not that time around, but plenty of time on the clock still to make something work here. Vihas, I see that flip reset approach there. Very well executed, but still defenders in the way, ready to combat the effort. And Wesh wants to read off the corner, can't find it. Toucan almost gets an advantageous 50-50 there to lay it in. Jazz can't find a lane out. And we're starting to see some creative offense. Yeah, even if there are more bodies than normal on one paw.
Power of friendship, another double commit. Going to just make that case stronger for SUNY Poly. I mean, it's forced them to their back line, but they haven't conceded yet as a result of it. And Wesh on low boost, going to lose that challenge. Munch is all alone now. Vihas and Pika both miss. Jazz still allowed to shoot. That's what double commits and low boost spots will get for you. That's a nice reaction save from Toucan, and somehow SUNY Poly get out of there.
There's so much impact on the first goal of this game. Neither team wants to see it go in their net, and you can see that displayed by the defensive efforts. Those snap judgments coming through right now for SUNY Poly once again. But it's that ball to the corner that Wesh wants to leap at immediately. Turning in once again, forcing Jazz to take it to the other corner. That's well placed as Vihas has good reign over that territory and sends it to the other side of the court. Toucan double commit with Wesh, but still a lane for Munch Z to find maybe a shot as well off the backboard. And Jazz looks for a safe place to put it. There's nowhere. It comes across the face of the goal. There's no shot taker. And SUNY Poly, if that's not the time to score, then when is?
This is such a frantic game right now. Neither team looks comfortable at the moment. I think the frenetic pace that SUNY Poly's playing at is forcing more and more double commits out, wasting boosts, and that makes them play awkward in the midfield, which then in turn makes LA Tech play awkward because they're not expecting what SUNY Poly is doing, and neither team is really playing good enough to score off of these mistakes on either end because they can't read the field properly. It's just a weird game of Rocket League at the moment, this Game 5 here in Week 1 of the ECAC. You had to see it eventually. Collegiate Rocket League is always good for a little bit of weirdness every once in a while.
I think adding to the weirdness, we have no registered shots yet from SUNY Poly in this game. Despite maybe what you've seen out of some pressure against LA Tech, it has not been formed on the stat sheet quite yet. And, well, Peacup wants to keep that trend going. Vihas, a strong shot off the crossbar. It's not going to find the right angle, but maybe there's a follow. No, again, Toucan leaping up, diving away. And by just that, we have our first goal. My God, Bepic, we have somebody that scored.
Speed of light. I mean, I was watching Vihas' perspective right there and thinking that's not a good pass. The defense is all right there. And by all, I mean all. Like, they were all three within a couple feet of the ball. And then Jazz just swoops in and wins the ball clean. That's impressive. Great read by Jazz. And now right back to it into the corner. It's Peacup and Jazz this time around. But LA Tech want more.
You know, it also speaks, though, to SUNY Poly and what they need to do to space out defensively. You give even a moment of clumping in that defensive corner, and, well, you can see how LA Tech are going to strike. So, one goal. Is that all she wrote here for the final game, potentially, of this series? SUNY Poly can't turn that around with a point here. And at the very least, their first registered shot. That's it, and that's all they need. One and done for the first goal.
Great attack by Toucan. Peacup just a misread, and Jazz is not quite ready to do enough with that. They were there for the initial block, but Munchie was there for the initial dunk. So, good offense in response to the LA Tech opening goal, and we're tied 1-1 again. Jazz has to react quickly to make that block and then get up to make a second one. Credited for the save that time around as a robbery. They weren't for the first. But regardless, it's two big blocks that keep us tied with just about 30 seconds left. Perhaps we see our third overtime of the series.
And Jazz again and again has just bailed this team out. Can they do it offensively as well? No, turned away by Wesh, but boy, does Jazz just want to put the entire game on their shoulders and send it to the finish line. It's not going to be that easy, not against SUNY Poly, as they're taking it across the width of the field. Vihas counters it and picks up boost that he can utilize for a pass. Pickup is there, but the shot goes wide. Vihas again, Jazz getting into scoring position, but they can't get past Toucan. And no one gets past regulation time with a lead. We got overtime again.
Yes, we do, and 2-0. It's worth mentioning LA Tech in these OTs so far. So, SUNY Poly has to right the ship in that regard. Tough, though, when Peacup and Jazz are just sitting that ball in the middle of the blue box. SUNY Poly all spread apart, no one back to make the save. And that's the series all done and dusted. LA Tech win.
There it is, defensive flub there, and I can't help but remember that it was 9 or 10 seconds in one of the overtimes, and we saw the Doomsy Dish goal for LA Tech to win that one as well. I mean, really, when LA Tech, their back's against the wall, when they have to do everything to perform in those nail-biter situations, they're just there, Bepic. They just perform. It's as simple as that, and sometimes the teams that can execute in the most icy of manners are the ones to win out the series. LA Tech, congratulations on a well-earned win.
I mean, 3-0 in overtimes, that is pretty darn icy in that series. Congrats to them indeed. And as well, that last game, I just want to point out, because it was a common thread, the winning team not out-shooting their opponent. LA Tech had 7 shots. SUNY Poly only had 3 that game. So they fixed that stat line as well at the very end. It was a well-deserved victory for LA Tech.
Was indeed awesome ECAC match to kick off the season. No doubt about it. This Champ Plus season getting off to a hot start. Folks, we're not quite done yet either. We do have, hopefully, an interview from the winning team coming up right after this very brief break.
Matchup is not very good for Ganondorf, but let's be honest, which matchups are? In this clip we're going to be watching as JD from Fisher learns the hard way that you never really want to meet an Inkling off stage.
Sooner if you don't find that kill confirm or that kill or a bomb off stage like that.
That bomb angle
is so good today.
Yeah, that bomb angle was beautiful.
Week 4 of ECAC Rocket League was absolutely insane. CMU and FC were tied up 0-0, but it was Gand who told FC they shall not pass game number 2.
Side of FC, they've only got one player for a moment there. They're trying to recollect, they're trying to reposition, but how do you position around a pinpoint accurate shot like this? Gand goes crossbar down for the first goal.
Adams in reverse, backed the defense off with that.
Whenever I'm on the mic for Valorant, you'll often hear the line, check your corners, repeated over and over and over again. And even with me not on the mic to tell them, I have a feeling this team may have learned that lesson.
Nah, he's got to take the shot.
Take it.
Oh yeah, just sounds of teammates running on through and come on, dive! The 4K on a completely unaware trio. And it's 11-0 right now.
And those are the top 8 moments we thought deserved just a little bit more time in the spotlight of week number 4 here at ECAC. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're interested in what ECAC has going on, we got something happening nearly every day of the week. So check us out right here. Editor, it's a challenge for you. Wink, wink. And folks, this has been all from me. Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy this, and we've got plenty of weeks down the line. Can't wait to see what comes of them.
And there's so many other jobs as well that can translate out of this experience in esports. The only path is not just as a player. I think all of us are representative of jobs in esports, but it mirrors traditional sports in pretty much the same way. You've got, you know, broadcasters, you've got production people, you've got marketing and sales, and now NIL and things like that. But really, esports is kind of a great accelerator for a lot of new businesses that are coming up in the metaverse and Web3, and there's a lot of new technology that is going to be needed. And so these STEM students that are also esports athletes are really the future workforce and leaders of tomorrow. And you know, us as well as all of our brand partners that we work with really recognize this. And I think that's really, you know, a key driver of why brands are in this space. They want to be part of building that future workforce and leadership and shaping it and supporting it. So, yeah, it's been a very interesting space to watch.
And we offer such a big, we offer such a big counterpart to traditional sports also, because it's a counterpart, but it's also the same, is what I'm trying to say. Because when you're traditional sports and they're done after their 2-a-day workout and they're done after their practice scrim, they're coming home to play Call of Duty and relax and put their feet up and get a drink and play video games. It grows their brain, problem-solving skills, and their hand-eye coordination while they're home. Hand-eye coordination, if you're a football player, massive skill. So it helps build those things while they're off the field. And then for us, vice versa, if you're an esports athlete, one of the errors I had growing up when I was competing in esports is that I was not active enough. I played sports, I competed a little bit, but I wasn't active enough truly when I look at it. So that's one area that esports players can learn from in terms of activity and physical and the marrying of both. People say, oh, sports and esports, video games. Not really. We're just kind of the tech industry's competitive form of competition, as to where traditional sports are more physical, hands-on. So I believe in the marrying of these two sectors and that they actually live together while also being counterparts.
I think then to speak to something about marrying right from traditional to esports, that to me speaks to this whole new thing. At least again from you guys, right? You guys have more traditional sports background, right? Paulie, Mike, and all of that. But I think let's talk NIL then, because I think that's something that I think is really interesting. That at least when I heard about it, right, of what we're trying to do with esports athletes, schools, programs in general. Because it wasn't something you would think normally, right? You could understand, right? Football player on the field, star quarterback. It makes sense, right? The guy is somebody that everybody knows on campus, whether you're on the team, off the team, or you're just going to the school. It makes sense, but I think.
Welcome back to the ECAC presented by Esports U. We have Vihaz in the booth with us, the winner of that previous match between LA Tech and SUNY Apolli. Vihaz, how you feeling?
Feeling good. Finally got the first win out of the way. Don't got to worry about it. So we got one under our belt for this season. Feeling good.
Yeah, perfect. Good way to set the tone for this season. Vihaz, I'm curious, coming into this season, what's your expectations in terms of results you're expecting? I know every team wants to win, but hey, any previous performances that you've done in this league? Have you been with this team for a while? Any new members?
So I think last season, I think we got down to, I think the first round of playoffs. We didn't do, I think the first 5 games, went on a win streak, won 5 in a row, and then kind of just started losing it towards the end of the season. I think we barely made it into playoffs. We played I know we played one of the top teams kind of going into it last season. And we went 1 and out, but I know we're trying to get at least 2 or 3 games deep in playoffs, see how far we go. But still looking with the same squad that we had last season. So yeah, trying to keep it up, trying to win some games.
Honestly, I love that. You see some of the best professional esports teams still make substitutes and still change all the time. But you guys get to keep your cohesion from the last season. I love to hear that. Speaking of cohesion, let's talk about the actual match there. Up until about game 3, you guys, maybe game 4, every single goal you guys scored was assisted. A lot of it was trying to use that real estate on the backboard, get those passes off. Is that a core part of your guys' strategy, or how do you guys like to score usually?
Well, usually, yeah. I mean, that whole first 3 games, we were just kind of going off of passing plays, just trying to get around the defense, trying to just get around them any way we could. And then anytime we had open edge, try to just score those. But most of the time, it's kind of solo plays when we can. But it just kind of worked out today that we just had a lot of assisted plays, and it kind of just worked out good for us.
Nice.
All right. Well, one of those solo plays was Jazz's dish in overtime to take, I think it was your second overtime of the series. You guys won 3 OTs, so 3 of your 4 wins were in extra time. Where'd the ice come from? Like those were some clutch plays.
Oh, well, kind of like we said before the interview, Jazz usually the one we're gonna have to carry most of the time, but he came through and he really clutched us up for us. That crazy backward read off the ceiling. Yeah, kind of just got crazy in those overtimes. We made it come through.
Oh, impressive stuff. Congratulations again on your win. You have anyone you want to shout out or anything like that before we send you home?
I guess just shout out the Louisiana Tech Twitter. I don't remember the handle, but you can look up just Louisiana Tech Esports. We'll pull up there. But that's about it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right, that was Vihaz from LA Tech. Just won their first match of the season in the ECAC, but that does it for Rocket League. Tonight, of course, stay tuned on the Esports U channel. Overwatch coming up next. Clutch Key and Twin Salty calling the University of Albany versus the USF series. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. But for Bepic and Pyro J and Coltoon in the background, we thank you for tuning in for Rocket League, and we'll see you there for Overwatch.
They're known, right? As we're growing the space, as we're putting this together, it almost feels really interesting that your star entry in Valorant, or your star forward on Rocket League, right? Whatever the case might be, now they can have NIL deals. It's a thing out there, and I think, I don't know, maybe Mike, you want to start off? But
I think thank you for teeing that up. So I was talking for too long. I forgot to bring NIL into the mix, so it's a common occurrence, occupational hazard. So I would say that so NIL for I'm sure most of you watching understand what it is. But NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. Name, image, and likeness, that term has been utilized to describe the transition of traditional student athletes, NCAA athletes, and their ability to monetize their name, image, and likeness. It went live July 1st, 2021, and it has continued over the course of the last nearly 14 months now. It's an interesting term because it's been co-opted to describe the NCAA's approach to student athletes being able to make endorsement money or be able to monetize any part of their name, image, and likeness, but it's been around forever, right? We've had athletes endorsing brands for over 100 years. Babe Ruth of the New York Yankees was endorsing brands 100 years ago, and it has continued onward from baseball cards all the way through now, where we have lots of different integrations of how influencers can monetize their followings. So what I would say on the traditional side is it's still a very young space. There are a lot of stories out there regarding NIL that tend to focus on the negative or how out of control, I put in air quotes, it has gotten. But there is still a burgeoning marketplace for many more student athletes that are involved. About 17% of NCAA athletes are currently involved in NIL, but 65% more than that want to get involved and are curious how to get started. On the flip side, brands are challenged with a few different things in the space. There are 10,000 professional athletes in the United States. Once July 1st, 2021 hit, and you dump every NCAA athlete into that space, that's another 500,000. So brands that maybe didn't have a dedicated athlete strategy when there were 10,000 now have 500,000 plus that 10,000 to figure out how to activate who they are. That's a lot. I understand brands' hesitancy in some instances, but I can tell you that companies like us are on a daily basis educating brands and student athletes as to the software you can use, the types of activations you can get involved in, and how to utilize your followings, or if you don't have to or want to be a social media star, are there ways in which you can monetize it? Now, I know I described that under the umbrella of the NCAA, but I see it as being no different in esports. I think there are massive opportunities for people with followings to be able to use that and connect with brands. I think a company like us can help you to do that. And then beyond that, we can make sure that those transactions are safe for you. I think there are opportunities, not just at the individual competitor level, but at the program level to have a sponsorship go to that. I'm sure some of you out there listening and watching already have deals like that in place, but I think we can continue to enhance, augment those deals and make them more comprehensive and make them, first of all, I think product deals are perfectly fine, but I think we can get beyond that and grow some of these deals to a greater extent. Paulie, thoughts on that?
Yeah, what you said is right. So I'll put it in for layman's terms here for just the esports players, because I talk to so many of our athletes that compete in our CECC series that are currently still in college. And basically when Mike Blewett says NIL, what he's referring to is just very simple. If a brand or any sort of anyone wants to use your school's name or your brand or anything with you, there is a deal for you that can be put in place, whether it's product deal, whether it's a paid endorsement. You can, whether you're a macro influencer or whether you're a micro influencer, you can be paid for your services. So most of the people, when I talk to them, I won't say people, college athletes, they are, intimidated by the word. They don't really know what it means. They've never done anything with it before. And that's what it means. Any single time a brand or anyone at all wants to use your name or do a deal with you or do some sort of activation with you or your school, that's basically what the layman's terms, the NIL meaning comes from. And it's evolving in this space. There are so many brands that want to associate with micro and macro influencers and just get people involved with their products or their services. So all of you, collegiate athletes out there that are competing in esports, not only are we trying to broker those deals, but also keep your eyes, ears open, and don't be shy or scared to take these deals, because that's what I've heard the most, is that most of the time they're just scared to take them. They don't know what they are. They don't know if they're locking themselves into some agreement or terms that they're like going to give their name away or something too. So this is a really important space, and it's how you're all going to physically make money and build your brands along with company brands. So it's really important to learn. And my advice is to just get your feet wet. Don't worry about shying away. Read the contracts. and take some of these deals, because growing your own brand is the future of what our industry is going to be, in my opinion.
Exactly, and if you follow in the pro space, you'll see that the pro teams are not only focusing on competitive play, but a lot of them are focusing on their brand and their cultural importance in the space. And so, one of the things that we do also is help athletes build their brand, build their following, and that's part of what Paulie and Kyler are doing on their side when we do this behind the scenes training. And so, building your brand, this is the creator economy. Anybody and everybody can be anything they want to be. And so we just really want to be the conduit that supports that across the board.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. With that said, thank you everyone for, I think, great insights in terms of, for any of you that were watching this and maybe had questions about, what is Esports U? What is CSMG? Who are they? What are they doing? What are our plans? Right? Well, we know we kind of tried to make a bigger splash in the spring, and we're excited to bring more stuff with you guys for the next year. But I think maybe as we close out here, I know we're slowly approaching on time then, but maybe let's go around the room with everyone here of just what's one thing that we're all excited for this next upcoming year. I know we touched on our plans and a lot of things, but if anyone had to speak, if you had to speak to just one thing of just what has you excited for us as a company, for us as the collegiate or college esports space, right? What's one thing that has all of you guys excited? And maybe we'll start with Mike, since our traditional sports guy, and we'll let Mike speak first.
Sure. So I would say many things on the traditional side, but I'll focus on esports. And I'd say the thing that I'm most excited about going forward is, after yet another year of us doing a round of events, I'm excited that more schools will understand exactly what we're doing with our regional events and culminating in CECC and getting more schools involved. I think schools will be more excited to compete in our events because we've established it over the course of a year, and I welcome any and all conversations with getting people involved.
I think for me, I'm most excited about like the schools and conferences. Mike, that's amazing. And that's so exciting. I'm also excited about the brands that we're starting to be able to get involved in this. In our Commissioner's Cup in last May, we had over 14 brands, blue chip brands, participating in our event. Barbasol, Microsoft, CDW, Morgan Stanley, New Street, Air Force. And so I think brands are really starting to get excited about being involved in college esports, and we're offering them a platform that not only gives them, a big event, a big yearly event, but also regular daily programming where they can have exposure in front of this audience that they want to build affinity for with their brand. So I'm super excited about seeing the brands get on board and help grow the space along with us. A rising tide lifts all boats. And I think that's probably one of our mottos here at CSMG and Esports U. We're growing our brand, but at the same time, we're also really growing the college esports space as a whole. And that's our goal, for it to be a healthy ecosystem for all parties involved.
Yeah, I agree there. And I guess for me, obviously always, seeing the collegiate esports space elevate, coming from competing, this didn't exist when I was competing, and just to see it now in literally within the last 5 years, probably really come to fruition and start just blossomed out of nowhere, and now becoming a space and seeing everyone, schools, players, productions, companies all elevate together has been really, really nice to see. But if I was the most excited for one thing, it would probably be the city where we're going to land for CC23. I'm really excited to know where we're going to be. There's a lot of great cities. I mean, I personally would love for it to come to New York, despite whether we got a positive bid or not. I want it to come to New York, but I just think the atmosphere in New York when you throw an event here is just super magical, especially in the summertime. But either way, I'm really excited to see where it lands. Tons of great cities, tons of great opportunities, and yeah, who knows? And I think that's going to be the most exciting process for me.
Absolutely. I won't speak to anything. I think I'm filling Paulie's job on this one because Paulie's more a panelist than this one. So, you know, normally Paul's the host, and I don't know. I think me personally, I'll just say something real quick. I'm just excited to keep telling your stories. If you're a student, if you're a program, let me know. Let us, reach out to us. We just ultimately at the end of the day, we want to tell your story, and I think that's what has me most excited because now I think we're getting to a point where people know us. I hope you guys trust us, and and we just want to keep expanding and growing the space. So with that, Paulie, I won't make you do the weird thing where you got to toss to yourself, unless you want to do that. I don't know. Actually, you might have a way of doing this. You know, let's test it. Yeah. Okay.
Right,
how do you want to throw yourself here?
Well, that's going to conclude here the future of collegiate with CSMG and Esports U. Thank you so much to Angela, Mike Blewett, and Kyler Tandle for hosting our panel. And now back to myself for the day 3 of the CSMG Coaches and Director Summit 2022.
https://twitter.com/Septilence. Don't put that in. I'll get in trouble. So that's worth it. Did I get too close to the camera on that one? A little bit too close. Should I back up a little bit? Okay, sorry about that. My bad. I've been awake for probably close to 32 hours. Like I have to hold my keyboard like the normal way because if I do it, I feel like I have arthritis and I hold my keyboard like that. It blows my mind. I can never do that. Like, this guy right here, he's got his keyboard like off at an angle. His isn't that extreme. There's a kid all the way down on the far end who has his keyboard all the way at like a horizontal.
That's really cool.
They're gonna be at that table right over there.
Public information?
Oh, I don't know. But this isn't live, so it doesn't matter.
It's not live, but like you and I know.
Yeah, we know.
I'm not gonna tweet it.
Awesome. What game do you play?
Smash Bros.
Who do you play? Is it embarrassing? Is it like Villager?
Yeah.
Is it Villager? Am I spot on? Oh my god. Is it the Ice Climbers?
No.
Is it Game & Watch?
No.
Is it Pichu?
No.
Is it Wario?
No.
I can keep going. I think I can name every character in the game. Is it? Did I say the Ice Climbers already?
Yeah, you said them.
Is it them? Is it them a second time?
No.
Okay. All right. Oh, is it one of the Links?
Yes, it is.
Is it Toon Link?
It is.
Oh, that is pretty embarrassing. That is rough. Who do you play?
I'll give you $20 if you guess correctly right now.
First try? Give me a single hint.
It's an obscure character.
Obscure character.
Not played very often.
Is it Wii Fit Trainer?
Oh my god!
I'm the interviewer for a reason, baby. I do what I do. I don't need the money. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. So Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and I forgot already. Are you all lying to me? Am I being gaslit? No. Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and you told me already. Oh, Toon Link. Yep. Where's my main support at? Who are we playing this weekend?
A lot of Brig.
A lot of Brig, really?
Brig Lucio, probably.
Brig Lucio, really? I shouldn't say that too loud. I don't want to give away your strategies. It's over under.
What do you mean over under?
Like, do we think we're gonna podium? Do we think we're gonna come in last place?
Not last place.
Not last place.
Certainly not last.
What about like 5th place?
That's doable.
That's doable. That's winnable. 3rd place.
Third place.
That's where things get dicey.
That's very doable.
Okay.
First place. That's very doable.
First place, very doable. Love it. That's the mindset. That's what he loves to hear. Yeah. Oh my God. Hold on. Cut the cameras. Well, who are you? Hello. Oh my God. I saw you earlier. I saw the back of your shirt. And I was like, I know that name. I know him. It's a quick play game. They Q-sniped each other at land. I thought it was a scrim. It's just unlucky. Are you actually a Villager player?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Villager being notably worse in Smash Ultimate than they were in Smash 4?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know? You never play Smash 4?
No.
Oh, that's all right. Nobody's going to hold that against you. Now, who do you play?
I play Robin.
Okay, wow. Did you know Robin has the lowest pick rate in the game?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Come on, the LEDs, it looks just like Samus.
Huh?
Do you disagree?
I guess I can see
The Samus vibe. Show the controller to the camera. We're interviewing. This is recording, by the way. Surprise.
Not my controller.
Who do you play?
I play Peach.
Oh, wow. I like that. Who do you play?
I play the Shotos, mostly Kazuya.
No, you lose against Kirby. That's just like a statistics thing.
Yeah.
It's maybe.
This is a death match. I think they're all in the same one. They're all on Icebox. Are they all in the same death match? Maybe. Who knows? I feel like none of them can hear me. I want to like approach somebody, but no one can hear. They all have both their headphones on.
What's up?
How do we think we're doing?
I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
What's your kitty?
We're looking at 10-6 right now.
Oh, hey, that's 3rd, dude. That's better than I expected. Who's bottom frag right now? I want to go talk to them. Ian? Hey, how do you think we're doing so far?
It could be better.
Could be better? You're one of those rough days?
Well,
Let's go find more people to harass.
Yeah.
Where's Boise State? Who's your favorite to play?
Oh, right now it's got to be either Chamber or Breach.
What country is Cypher from?
Oh, dude. It's Moroccan, right?
It is Morocco! Oh my God, I don't think anyone was gonna get that. Oh, you're good. All right, see you later. Let's go harass Boise State more. Who is this? What school is this? Boise?
This is Boise.
Oh man, that's okay. Boise's still got really good odds.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and he jumped into it. Corner judges go for 1, 2, dip. He needs more. And they're doing even more here.
You gotta touch the point. Central College walks it in.
Toy Boy just gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
Clutch Key alongside Twin Salty with you for a game of the Masters Plus division. Now, it hasn't been like before in ECAC where it's all combined. No, it's now 3 different divisions. We are in the top tier Masters Plus, where 10 teams duking it out for the right to be called the best in the Masters Plus division. University of Albany, the Great Danes, taking on the South Florida Bulls here. And an interesting lineup where it's 3 different divisions now. So we're going to see some top tier plays. And right at the end of the week, might I add.
Exactly. You have the best of the best in this division. You have the top 10 teams, and obviously Fisher's on bye this week as well. So maybe not a 3-0. Maybe the 3-0 curse is going to be extinct here in this spring season. That kind of cursed us for the fall. I'm honestly very excited, though, to see how these two teams want to start off the spring. Obviously, a different meta than what we left off on as. So kind of curious how much Orisa we see, if we see any Ramatra, and anything like that.
Yeah, I know, and we've seen different things as well. I know you worked earlier today on a European broadcast. We saw different things, right? We saw Winston, we saw an Orisa, we saw different things as well. I know in the back room, we had one of our observers here, Cool Scoots, our observer today, saying that Doomfist is going to be a possibility as well. I mean, you got plenty of options to go through here, and really not much in terms of buffs or nerfs. There was only really, I believe, 4 patches, or not patches, excuse me, but 4 patch notes for different heroes: Orisa, Roadhog, Sojourn, and Kiriko. But nonetheless, I think we're going to see at least 3 out of the 4 of them maybe in all together. But we go into now our very first map here. Oasis and University will be the start of this, and you'll see on either side it's going to be pretty much something similar as to a Sojourn, as to a Lucio, and a Ramatra, but otherwise 1 DPS, 1 healer, going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, Albany more focusing on the Mercy Pocket. You would assume it's going to be going on Sumerian, because the Sojourn with the Mercy Pocket can be ridiculously good. And South Florida, more just going your traditional rush with the Junkrat actually in play.
Yeah, with the Junkrat in play. So shout out to our friend Sephalence, who loves to see the Junkrat here. But we go right in now to University and Oasis. Very first map of the ECAC season underway. And right now it seems like they're just splitting on different ends of the point right now. Nobody really walking in until Abood goes right on and takes that railgun shot into Llama. Traded out right away by Lebam, though. So it's still going to be a fight on fight here. Ramatra's just dueling each other on point. Question is the healing. Question is how long this different form is going to last. Nobody near the Annihilation just yet, although Ski's already at 65% to that Annihilation. The University of South Florida takes the first flip.
Able to flip it at least early with Sumerian on this high ground. Still has a decent amount of charge and able to pick off a boot, or at least start it off.
Well, it does start that off. The question is how long can they hold on for. Llama and Sumerian do get the kill, but Bebop able to take care of Ski in the process, though. So Ski goes out of play for a little while now. Right, it looks like Albany is going to be able to take over this point. They've got this Ramata surrounded. Kiriko's going to try to heal them as long as they possibly can, but too much damage pouring in onto Bebop, and this is going to be Albany that flips the point.
Patience, patience, and a little bit more patience eventually went the way of Albany. Llama, especially with those walls, just trying to separate a few members of the Bulls out. That time it was Bebop able to get separated, and now already the Annihilation used from Ski that fight didn't really get a lot of value.
Yeah, not at all either, and it's not like there wasn't the future nerf that only lasts 20 seconds. It's still indefinitely here until something else happens. Keeps an air rush. comes out for the side of University of South Florida. Storm Eagle deciding to hold on to it. They kite back, but not before Astro World goes down in the process. Commander Hui's out with a kill on Storm Eagle. That's both of the supports down, and it's back to the Bulls.
This Junkrat is not something we thought we were going to see, but on this map, I could definitely see it because you'll have full control over that hallway just because nobody wants to push a Junkrat in that small corridor. So it's either you have to push through main to where they have a very great setup with Bebop, or you have to try and push over to high ground where Abood has been kind of chilling out a lot of the time, kind of hanging out on low ground as well.
See, now they're going to use Ski to go right in. They have the Riptire out. They don't have the availability of the protection Suzu in time. So that's both of the supports down yet again. And it's all systems go for South Florida. The big tire from Commander Hui sent them back.
The Bulls charge on in, get the value they want. Commander Hui, man, already racking up the kills. And what a beautiful Riptire that was. As you said, the Suzu not able to go off in time, and no heals means no fight win if you are the Great Danes. And now they swap off the Mercy, going over to the Lucio to try and match the pacing that South Florida's been able to run.
If they want to go, it's got to be all systems go now or never with that Lucio. 85% last shot here for Albany to bring it all the way back. They have the Blizzard, but it's going to be to no avail. Abood gets the kill onto Storm Eagle. Now the Annihilation out for Bebop and Ski. So it's a trade on trade between the two Ramontras. However, it's going to go all for nothing here. The very first map, University of South Florida keeps it at 100-34 on the University.
They did it superb there, especially once they recaptured. Like, no, you have to push into us, and there was no angles to where Albany felt truly comfortable, and South Florida took full advantage of it. And again, the junk you don't normally think of in this meta, right? A lot of it is the Soldier and the Tracer, the Reaper. Genji, oddly enough, has kind of slowly slid back in based on comfort picks, but the Junkrat gets so much value on that map. And now as we head over to round 2, a little bit of changes, at least on the DPS line, with Ashes now, at least at the moment, well, was at the moment both in play. Commander Hui, why get off the hot hand, man? Just go back to that Junkrat. Works extremely well. Force Albany to try and find a mistake.
Yeah, and I think Albany, I mean, right now, Albany just having no answer for that Junkrat, at least from after the 34% that they did cap. University of South Florida just went on a rampage there to get the rest of it. But right now, they're going to go for the same side. They're going to go into the little area upstairs, and they're just going to fight up the stairs. Now, whoever drops first is going to lose. They knock the Ramontra off the map. Great job by Astroworld. Does not matter the movement capabilities of the tank after a move like that. Astroworld's got it on lockdown, and it's going to be a great start here for the Great Danes.
That is the perfect start for the Great Danes. They should be able to capture this, and that is what you needed. Like, okay, you want to play up there? You want to extend a little bit so you're not inside your little hallway? Yeah, well, let's put you right on off. You don't have that security blanket of the wall, and they're able to get tons done there. And now, so Florida trying to figure out if they want to try and push through Hookah.
See if they do push through. They do push through quite fast by the ad, using the protection Suzu to run on rampant by and to go in. However, Ski's got the Annihilation ready and running. No sound barrier, no defensive ult to protect anything. Ski's just going to run right in and kill 2 on Commander Hui and Labam, and it's going to be a perfect fight here for the Great Danes.
The first round, he's able to build that ultimate extremely fast. Doesn't get anything from it. This time around, Annihilation got the value needed. Just pressed on it, had that speed as well, that being the difference maker this time around, to not give South Florida the chance to get away.
Does not get away. Now you have Llama here, 82%, but waiting here in the back line, seeing if anybody wants to move forward. Llama's just sneaking around, but they sneak him out right away. They sniff him out, and they're just going to go right on in. Protection Suzu's very early on. However, Commander Hui got already Storm Eagle out. Riptire is out. Is this going to find anything? It's going to drive around for a little while to see if it finds this Ash. Wish it does. That's both of the DPSs down, and University of South Florida on the right start here for this fight, seeing if they can get rid of the rest. It's only a Ramontra left on point, and the Bulls are going to try to make the comeback from 68% and on.
Commander Hui or bust so far has been the game plan from South Florida. Whenever he's playing well in a fight, they're winning it. When he's getting shut down, he is not, and they're just not able to win these fights, at least early on. Sumerian now 3/4 of the way to that Bob, and honestly, I don't know if the Ash pick has really been the difference maker. It's been more Ski just having a ton of value. They're almost at their second Annihilation when Bebop's only 86 to their first.
And it seems like Ski's building it up so quickly. But now you're going to have 3 ultimates on the side of Albany. OW2's going to use the overclock here, see if this finds anything. It did last time. Sound Barrier having to be invested, but not before Ski. It's going to have an ultimate here if they wanted to use it. Death Blossom's out after the fact that that Sound Barrier is used. Ski might not even need it as they flip the point back for the Great Danes. They don't need it. They're going to have it for the last fight coming up.
I love the aggression there. Push on in. Do not let the Bulls even settle at all during that fight. And you're able to hold on to, as you said, the Annihilation Bomb is still in your back pocket as well. You know Bebop has it, but they probably guess he's had it for a while, even though he just got it during the mid-fight last fight.
It looks like it's probably going to be a trade-off here. It's going to be all systems go. South Florida needs to touch. They will do so. And now the bomb is out as well. The Annihilation is out. Protection Susu only there for a little while, but it's going to be a run rampant situation. Ski does use that Annihilation as well, so it's a trade-off here. How long will either of them last? And you can see the overhead view where both of them are using it. However, Bebop's got the lasting out of it because there's still someone in this, and Ski just trying to run away, but Bebop just getting insanely healed along with the Kitsune Rush to go alongside with it. South Florida trying to trade out what they can. Astroworld goes down, but so do both of the Lucios here. Now Bebop into Nemesis form. He's going to try to get the punches away of Boot, trying to make that comeback. Starting off here, the Ramatra in so much trouble as they trade out the fight here. It's looking like South Florida will be able to flip the point, and they're going to be able to keep it in overtime.
And they do not have to use the Death Blossom there as well. That could be huge, at least during this next fight. If they can win that, they should have enough time to at least build up Overclock, as well as that Sound Barrier coming in from LaBam. Albany really don't have any ultimates this fight. They're going to have to try and win a dry fight, which honestly we've seen them do plenty of times. It's all going to be rely on how Ski can do in this fight.
Again, they're going to go rush up right away, and they're going to use that Death Blossom right now. And Commander Who's got at least Astroworld down. That was a lot of damage poured out, and South Florida's going to win this on 1 Death Blossom and 1 Nemesis form of Bebop, and they are now in last fight territory coming up.
They do get 2 pickoffs, though, I will say. Revelate Levina is still coming back from Spawn, and we'll have to wait a little bit for them to go back. So if Albany want to fight quick here, it should be at least temporarily a 4v5.
Well, let's see, though, because Ferrari still has the TP to get back to the point, which they do use right away. So they're going to have that back on point. Albany is going to go on to the point. Here we go. This is going to be the Annihilation used immediately as soon as they get that Q right away. No Sound Barrier, nothing to protect for it for right now. So Sumerian using also that Bob Ski with the Annihilation clears out the point, and everybody else there. They drop all the Annihilation. He's still online, which means they still have enough damage poured out. And Albany's got the point flipped back to them at 93%. We could go to map number 3. We could go to the city center right here as they will start to fall, and the Great Danes take this to map number 3 in week number 1.
Gardens goes in the favor of the Danes, and who you said going over to city center, which honestly I would say goes into Albany's hands a little bit more, just because Sumerian has been doing a little bit more than a boot in these mid fights. Neither hit scan has really got a ton done. It's been more on their flex DPS and their tanks to try and get the value that the teams need. But man, what a nice little comeback there from Albany, looking way more like themselves in that second round.
Yeah, and having the advantage of about 99% to about 20-something%, or sorry, 33% from the very get-go. So had about 1 or 2 fights there to bring it back, which they absolutely did. So now Albany thinking that they've got what it takes here, and really neither side swapping out. Although Albany, is this going to hold true? Albany's going to play the Doomfist instead of the Ramatra here in City Center to start.
I don't mind it for the verticality and the movement that you can have on the Doomfist, but especially when you've been winning the Ramatra duel, I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see how this one actually goes.
Well, let's see. Does curiosity win you the game is the question here. Ski's already got this Ash in a lot of trouble. Commander Hui already had the backup, just a little bit protection. Suzu used very early on from Storm Eagle, and now they've got them all around here, and they've got the Empowered Punch hitting 3 people, and this is Ski on a rampage right now for the rest of the team. Albany's off to a great start yet again.
Any doubts we had about the Doomfist pick? Gone.
Gone.
What a fight from Ski. Already 63%. Put a little spray down as well. And yeah, it's already going to force a swap out of South Florida. They will shift over to the Orisa to try and counter out Ski when they're diving on in with the Javelin Spin and the Jab Throw as well to at least try and stun him up just a little bit.
Remember, only a small nerf to Orisa as well. Back on January 24th, 145 went down from 125 to 75, but nonetheless, this could be a counter pick on to the Doomfist. Still the Empowered Punch ready to go here because that protection Suzu was great for that. So now they've got to push all the way back. However, Albany's going to keep this going. They use the Meteor Strike to get out for just a couple of moments before this Doomfist goes right back in. Almost falls off the map, and actually the Spear throws him across the pit. But still, nonetheless, it's going to be Albany forcing them back all the way to the spawn room.
Ski is just playing parkour at this point. He's trying to figure out how many angles can I get, how many people are going to hit in just one fell swoop. And so far, South Florida just have no answer for it.
Well, they're going to find it after. They need to find it after the Sound Mirror, because now it's all systems go here for Albany. They go right in, trying to deal a little bit of damage, but Kitsune Rush cancels it out right away. So it's going to be Kitsune Rush versus Kitsune Rush here, and a boot is going to be able to get that first pick onto Storm Ego, meaning that even if they had it, they won't be able to use it right away. Now they have Commander Hui in so much trouble, down to 30 health, but is able to raise form away and get out of that. Meanwhile, it's still headshot for headshot picks, and if you're Albany right now, you're liking this trade fight because it's extending it even further. You might be able to win this one with Sumerian getting 2 picks, although that comes out right back. Bob is out of the floor. Ski gets 2. Ski gets 2. This is just an annihilating fracture here from Ski. It's unbelievable. The fight continues on, and it looks like it's going to be a fight win here for Albany, and it's going to be a game win here for Albany unless something else happens.
No right to win that fight. They had absolutely no right to win it, and yet they're able to pull it by. But Rebel Levna actually takes on Astroworld, trying to get a little bit aggressive and maybe just slightly creaks the door back open for the Bulls.
No, but it might just be shut here in general. It went from 100 to 93 on the Garden to basically what could be a 100-0 here. They have the Doomfist out. Meteor Strike is going to come down here with only a Lucio and a Reaper left to go on the point. This is going to signify everything is all but over as the overtime clock bleeds, and the Great Danes coming back from losing 134 on the University, win the Gardens, win the City Center cleanly, and they're up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, any doubts about the Ski Doomfist, they're out the window.
0.
Like, that was superb gameplay from them. It'll be Commander Hui at least gets the play, but man, that was one hell of a performance on the Doomfist. And we heard it, you know, he said at the beginning of the show, like, there's a chance we see a little bit of Doomfist here tonight, which you wouldn't think would be the #1 call, because he's kind of in a funky spot to where if you know how to play him really well, you can make it work. If you're someone like me who sucks at him, it's a throw pick. So to see Ski play that well on it is extremely fun. And also, they had no right to win that last fight. You lose both of your supports within 3 seconds, and you lose Sumerian as soon as they throw the bomb as well. It's like a 2.5 versus 5, and Ski gets 3, and they're able to just drag that fight back.
Yeah, I guess what they say is if it's unexpected, I mean, anything can happen, and anything did happen, really, with the fight win at the end. So the Doomfist works out for them, and Albany's up 1-0. I mean, Ski's got to be your player of that map for the team of Albany thus far. I mean, so far, so good for them, especially, what was it, building, we talked about this as well. I think it was on the Gardens where I believe Ski had 2 annihilations before Bebop had 1, or was at least close to that second one before that first annihilation of Bebop as well. So Ski absolutely putting on a show right now. But we move on over to the next map, which is Midtown. Again, maps are already set. Same thing like normal as per the last season, and of course seasons before, where the map pool is already set here. But Midtown now going to be the hybrid map in question for at least for USF right now on the back foot.
Yeah, and I think you are right. It was they each got their ultimate at the same time over there at Gardens, and it was Ski's second annihilation. And it's just like, if you are building it that much higher, he was playing so much more aggressively.
Oh yeah,
it seemed like USF were playing way more defensive, more trying to play counterplay, and it just didn't work against Ski, because when you build up that aggressive annihilation, it's such a pain to deal with if you're the opposing team. The fact that he built it up twice by the time USF built up 1, it is a major red flag, I think, for the game plan of the Bulls. And I think the Doomfist, you know, that was later on, he could also do extremely well on Midtown during certain parts of this map. So I'd be a little worried if I was the Bulls. I would personally go attack first, just so you can try and like regain that momentum, set that tempo. But you wonder what the play call is, because at least the Junkrat's okay on this map. It's not great on second phase or first phase. Third phase, it's very good. You wonder if they try and lean into that a little bit more, or if they're going to try and lean more back into that Orisa counterplay.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Orisa had to have come up big there, but unfortunately, with the way Ski was playing, it didn't look like it was going to happen in the first place. But still, coming up next on to Midtown here, and a little bit of a lineup adjustment, if you will, for both sides. I believe Saki's going to be a new addition to this one because Commander Hui now out of play. So there's something different here. Albany's going to stay with the exact same lineup that they have. So South Florida swapping out here Commander Hui for Saki, and it looks like, I believe, if I'm reading this correctly, Abud Ravilevna is going to be, Ravilevna, I believe, is going to be now a DPS, whereas Saki, who replaces Commander Hui, is going to be in for the support side. So Saki, Labam, both your supports as of right now, as per the lineup, courtesy of our observer, Cool Scoots, who is directing the lobby as well. So this should be pretty interesting. You're not only swapping out Commander Hui, which means there most likely isn't going to be a Junkrat here for Midtown.
Yeah.
But not only that, now you're going to have a support player that we saw in map 1 move on over to DPS. So maybe it gets a little more unexpected, if you will, here for USF.
Yeah, the role swap is a bit weird to me because you don't normally, unless you are desperate or it is pre-planned, to have a role swap like that. And it wasn't even like Commander Hui played that bad. It's not like he was definitely not the reason why they lost that game. He's the reason why they won map 1 over on University. So you wonder what the thought process is, and maybe it's just comfort, or it is just them wanting to go on the Genji. Maybe Commander Hui wasn't comfortable on those kind of heroes. We'll have to wait and see maybe later on if we see more of Commander Hui. But for now, it will be the Genji coming out. Saki going over on that main support. And Albany, no shock to anybody. They're still on the Doomfist.
Well, no shock at all. I mean, not using the Ramattra, but going to use the Doomfist to get themselves at least in. And look, Ski without a nano boost was great. With the nano boost, who knows?
That's a truly scary sight. But I also have Bebop going over to the Winston, which I think is not a bad idea, especially if you have the Genji now in play. Just play the full-on dive.
Well, they do have Llama on the Torbjorn though, so let's see if this works out for them, especially against the Genji. That might deter them for a little while though. 15 seconds in already. Ski's just going to go right on in. Tries to get a punch off, not going to find anything. But now they're going to go upstairs here, and this Winston's just going to dive in by themselves, but that still gets rid of the turret for right now. So still 5v5, nothing big happening thus far. Punch misses a vault. The Sojourn, as the Sojourn slides away here, so Abud gets away with one. But still to push in from the side of the fire truck here. Good dynamite hits at least 3 from the looks of it for right now. No cleanse either for South Florida to try to push in for. Albany did pick defensive side here, so Albany does get the advantage in the situation to find out what's going on. Good bounding, good sleep right now. This Doomfist in a lot of trouble. Although they find Labam in the meantime, and Ski's able to get away somehow, some way, and it's going to be South Florida that has to back up.
South Florida are trying to figure out how they want to aggress this, because no matter when they try and dive in, it's either Ski counter diving immediately, or it's the Torb turret they have to deal with. And Ravilevna is just not having fun right now. Like, Llama is on them 24/7, and if it's not them, it's their turret. You wonder if there's already going to be a swap in that lane. So far, at least, no. Because Llama's marking everybody who's diving in if they don't already see them, and Ski's just punishing immediately.
Well, Ski's looking to see if they can go from the top rope down below. Finds 3, finds including the Winston. Protected Suzu having to be used early on. There's the sleep guard onto the Ana, but woken up right away. No nano boost just yet for Storm Eagle onto Ski, but Ski is able to find and get away just in time. Samaritan's 2% away from the Bob, and also has the Valkyrie for Astroworld ready to go. The question is, when and where do they want to use it here? They have the nano boost from Labam onto Bebop. Turret does go down. They're forced all the way back for right now. Somebody is on point, and I believe that's Ski that is slept for right now. Ski now nano boosted. And a great Bionate hits 2 onto Bebop and to Abud. So Bebop having to back away. Kitsune Rush also in that favor as well. But Samaritan trying to flip the fight already with a Bob kill, with a regular gun kill as well. And even with the Kitsune Rush, even with everything that they had, it's looking like a backup situation here for South Florida Bulls, just with no answers whatsoever.
They have struggled to try and have their gameplay to work, and Bebop's just popping the primal, trying to deal with Llama, and they will get the elimination, and they get slow.
Yeah, just leave them.
That's actually, it's not horrible, as Labam actually gets one as well, so at least something's opening up here for the Bulls.
Oh, the blade of the room. This could be big. No Suzu either, so Ravilevna's going to go ahead and swing away here, and that's 3 kills already for this team from University of South Florida, and the door just popped open.
it was maybe more than they wanted to use during that fight. Albany should be at least able to recontest here with Ski. They get slapped. They're able to get anted as well. Llama.
Wait, what? Llama uses the Molten Core, gets 2 onto Abu and Labab with the help of the Doomfist as well, and somehow, someway, Albany's finding their way back into this fight. Llama is rezzed up, but Ski does go down, however, so Albany down their tank for right now. South Florida, if they want to go, I mean, now would be a great time to do so because Ski's not in the game. The Meteor Strike could be used to get back onto the point. Question is if they even want to decide to use it. The reload time just so long here for this Genji, but having their success is the question on that reload. They do trade out the tanks for right now, but Ski back into the play, and now they're going to use the Nano Boost onto Ravalevna, who doesn't have a blade whatsoever. Ski still finding a way to win out this fight, and the trade fight continues on, which means the time is wasted even further.
There's no way Albany wins this. They're able to get the res off as well.
I don't
Ski will
know.
be able to live for a little bit, and the reinforcements are back. South Florida's already on the Doomfist to try and at least win this still.
They have the bomb too. The bomb is out, so Albany can still find a way to win this. They do get slept though. However, the bomb does go down, so the 6th man out of play doesn't really matter when you're down into a 5v3 situation. Now, Sumerian's hitting Sean. This isn't looking good for South Florida. They might not even be able to find a point. In fact, they won't be able to at all. Despite having Ravalevna go off, it is Albany that makes the comeback, and they bleed away the clock for 92.5% only on the first point.
I thought their fight win at the end of City Center was ridiculous. What in the world was that, Albany? Just able to claw their way back in. How does 2 bulls die to Molten Core right away? Like, they must have been so lit, and that just opens up everything for the Great Danes, because all of a sudden it goes from like a 2v4 to a 2v2 on point. Llama knows they're probably dying during that fight. They just try and live on point as long as they can when Ski's trying to go back and get heals, and at that point, the rest of Albany come back into the mix. They have Bob, they have Meteor Strike, Nano laid on. What a set of resiliency from the University of Albany. Now it is quite simple. You capture first point, you're up 2-0.
That's just nuts. You and I both thought there was no chance. I had legitimately said that they were gonna open. The door was open. Unfortunately, Ski comes right back in, and then the Molten Core from Llama just shuts the door right in their face right away. But it's unreal how Albany is playing right now. And like you said, you thought the fight on Gardens and City Center was insane. Try this one on for size. Albany just shuts the door and basically says no way to South Florida that you're going to try this. So now South Florida on the defensive end thinking maybe we tried the Doomfist to stop something.
At that point, it's like you just need to pick somebody to get to point. They're probably thinking, at least early on, that okay, let's save an ultimate for the beginning of second phase, but it can be a little tricky especially during the very beginning of that. And then it turns into, oh wait, we're not winning, guys. We're not winning. We need to use more and more and more, and it just never happened.
Just didn't happen whatsoever. So now Ski's still on the Doomfist. I guess, hey, don't fix it's not broken. The only thing that you're going to switch off is the Stormbear. And again, another start where 3 people are punched out from the Doomfist right away and gets another 2-man punch here. So Ski's just going to go off, and everything in the subway is falling apart here for University of South Florida. The Bulls just not being able to find anything. Another 3-man punch from Ski, already at 83% to a Meteor Strike. Might not even need to use it here from the very get-go here, as this Lucio just spinning around on point. And oh my goodness, is this going to be it here? They're going to try for it. 36% already has a tick. Needs to contest if they even want to have a chance. They're going to find a second. But they got to know that they got to enter. It's now or never here. Meteor Strike is going to find one, at least inside of the room. They do contest it. Abood does get the kill onto Llama, but it does not even matter at this point. The only people left to go are this Lucio. They've already got a Nano Boost. The Meteor Strike already used as well. It's insane how Albany is playing right now, and it's going to be Albany just absolutely dominating the floor here to go up 2-0 in the series.
What a map from Albany. That has to be a soul crusher for South Florida, as you're probably feeling at least okay going into that map, and Albany are just the better team on that. There's nothing else to say. This is the blade we thought, okay, you know, the Bulls have got this point. They should be able to do this, because one little stash in there, it'll pick up one. Dice gets up 2 more. It's only 2 people left for Albany who are just going back, and it just flips. It just flips all of a sudden when you don't think it's going to happen. And I will say as well, at least a slight critique from me on the defense there from the Bulls. If you're playing against Doomfist, why are you playing Subway? Like, why are you playing Subway? That is one of the worst places you could possibly be. And it just allows Ski to build up that meteor strike in what, like 30 seconds?
No, I don't think even that. I mean, I'm just gonna. I might just open up the stream myself and just look at how fast that ult was built, because it was insane how fast Ski built. Right, you had, what was it, a 3-man punch, a 2-man punch, followed by another 3-man punch, and then another punch to get themselves already like what 90% away to the ultimate. I mean, it's just insane the way Ski is playing right now, and at this point, right, you can't stop Ski. You can only try to contain him. At this point, I mean, it's just insane. And the fact that also Storm Eagle also had a nano boost to pair up with that in what was basically that one fight territory anyways in the final fight of the game for Albany was insane as well. So pair Ski up with a nano boost, and I guess, I mean, everything works, right? All systems go. Green lights everywhere you look for Albany. So now you go into the third map here. Next map up coming up is Circuit Royale, and Doomfist possibility yet again, maybe. Or, I mean, Sigma has been a popular pick here, but the way Ski's been playing, I don't know if you should go away from the Doomfist here.
Yeah, I'd like, do you stick to, you have to stick to it, right? You have to. It's, at least early on, I think you have to, even though this is such a heavy Sigma map. Like it is the one map that Sigma is so dominant in. No matter what you see, it is going to be played. So you wonder if that's going to be an aspect here for the Danes. Okay, maybe as much fun as Ski's probably having on that hero right now, putting down the spray to respect him, I think maybe you swap off, especially on the defense. On the offense, I could see it definitely working. The defense, it's very tricky, and we do have a little bit of a change around. Another role swap coming in. It'll be Saki and Rav swapping back over. So now it's Saki going over to DPS, and then Rav now going back over to flex support or main support. I'll have to wait and see. I think flex support though. You wonder, it's like, okay, we like that you're changing things up, but where is this cohesion going to come from? Because now you have two people swapping roles yet again.
Yeah, it's just another swap off. And by the way, going back to the tape here, we were talking about how fast Ski built up that ult back on Midtown. Try 54 seconds to build up an ult on the Doomfist. That's insane, no? 54 seconds, still over 3 minutes on the bank for Ski to build that ult. And nonetheless as well, you look at Storm Eagle, 67 seconds to a nano boost. And the team of Albany is playing insane right now. But here we go to Circuit Royale. And Albany starting off the defensive side, but
Ski?
Wrecking Ball to start?
Okay. That is... I don't know what to say.
I think we're both speechless here.
I can only see it on like a few maps of like Ilios. You can kind of work with how environmental it is. And a few things like that. But it's just... I'm not what I expected today, but hey, if it works, it works.
I guess if it does. Again, USF on the attacking side to start here. We'll see how this Wrecking Ball fares off, and they're not seeing anything for right now besides they have the Widow versus Widow, Sojourn versus Sojourn, and now the Wrecking Ball comes right in, dives onto 4 people, already 30% on the way to an ultimate. Keep your eye on Ski to see how fast he can build up the landmines here for a little while, although Ski stunned out for a little while by the accretion. Safe to say, though, Ski does get away for a little while, though Llama is taken out by a boot, so a good start here for USF to try to push this card. It's already a backup situation for Albany. Llama switching on over to the Ash already now. Ski halfway to an ult, so is Bebop, though. Bebop able to find Ana, and that is going to be a push back here for Albany at the very least, because now Ski's in trouble and Ski's gone.
That is the start you needed if you're South Florida, because of especially how last map went. You needed a good start like this. Have your Widow hitting those shots earlier. Bot as well, doing decent so far. And you get so much real estate here, but now you get to the tricky part of the end of this first phase, where the defense can just hold that high ground basically for free.
Well, let's see if there's any difference here for Albany than it was on South Florida. Remember, Albany, or rather for South Florida, they were able to they were stopped very close to what their objective time or point was. In this case, they're stopped short as well, because already 2 kills falling here for South Florida, and now make it almost a third here. The Zenyatta able to get away for right now. Ski does have the landmines ready and available, but decides not to use it. Backs off for now.
It's like, all right, we'll just cause a little chaos this next fight. I'm guessing it'll be onto the back line, especially Rav and Saki, considering Transcendence not online quite yet. And if anything, it just baits out the immortality field for Sumerian to try and go ham later on. And I guess Llama swaps again, now shifting over to the Hanzo this time around.
Let's see if the Hanzo works out any better here for Albany. I mean, so far, Saki's been winning the Widow battle, so...
Bebop's alone.
Yeah, Bebop is low, but Immortality Field keeps him alive for right now. Abu takes down Llama, so Llama sent back to the spawn room yet again. Nano boosted is this Wrecking Ball. We used the landmines earlier on, but the Widowmaker in so much trouble. Ski finds 3. Ski is able to find 3 through the chaos here, and the Wrecking Ball stops them in their tracks.
Oh, is he going to get the 4K as well? I think he's going to get it. He takes out Bebop. What in the world, Ski? This is getting ridiculous now. As I will say, Llama maybe having one of the worst rounds of his career so far. He has been struggling against Abud and Saki, but it's not mattered. Sumerian's hitting the shots when needed. Astroworld has built up that Kitsune rush, and Ski is just having the time of his life already. Has another minefield ready to go.
And Ski being very sneakily with it, although I don't know if they saw the Ofudas going out to where the Wrecking Ball was. But they don't, they spawn him right away, though. Kitsune rushes out. Sumerian also using that Rogan to their advantage. Doesn't even need the overclock to do so here. They do use the Transcendence to try to clear out the landmine. Sumerian, though, is going to use the overclock to take down Saki, and it's yet another fight win for Albany, and they're down to just 45 on the clock.
This is just all falling apart for the Bulls as well. They use 3 ults that fight. They have to use the Transcendence to try and get rid of the mine, so they can at least have a little bit of control of where they want to play that fight. And it just doesn't matter. Ski's able to at least get 1. Sumerian lines up the shots as well, and Llama will be able to use a Dragon Strike as well to try and separate the Bulls on this engage.
Dragon Strike, yep, like you said, is available. But South Florida does have the application matrix ready to go. And what a lift, actually. That does a lot of damage because Ski able to lift them up for a little while, but the damage is still there, and that's already Immortality Field needing to be used. They do trade out Ski, though. Abud is taken down at the same time. So the Sojourn winning by Albany. Saki does go down, or Saki does take down Llama. But it is traded out in the meantime. Still a couple of meters left away because that payload was pushed so far back. So now Ski is back in play, and Ski is ready to play here. Until the overtime clock starts to bleed away here. Ski in the back line is also nano boosted at the same time. And there is no hope for the side of South Florida to even push this any further. Ski's got 2, Sumerian's got 2. And the way this team is playing right now from the University of Albany, the Great Dane looking at match point just 89.6 meters away.
What a statement this has been from the Albany so far. This has been incredible. Just Sumerian especially, we talked about him a lot during fall, to where he's one of the better hit scans in this league. We're kind of curious to see how his flexibility will kind of transform over the school year. His Sojourn play tonight has been exceptional, especially since after that slightly slow start over on Oasis. He's been playing great so far. And I know it's been the Ski show for a lot of tonight, but you got to give credit to Sumerian as well, and Storm Eagle, as you said earlier, for the nano. This is, wow. If they're able to finish this sweep off, what a statement win for Albany to start off the spring.
Yeah, I mean, this would be nuts to see Albany take away the sweep here. And if Ski stays on this Wrecking Ball, I mean, look, we said it at the very get-go, right, that this was a Sigma-heavy map. Ski is trying to change that fact right now, and it's insane the way he's doing it.
I would love to see Ski be our interview tonight if it is Albany that wins.
Yeah.
Just to pick his brain a little bit. Because you got to wonder what in the world is going on in his mind right now. You must think he is on cloud 9 with how well he's been playing tonight. And University of South Florida, no matter what they try, have just not been able to do anything about it. They have went to the Sombra now to try and deal with the Ski Wrecking Ball. It's honestly maybe one of the only things you can at least try to do to take down someone who is on such a roll.
Well, let's see if he continues to be on a roll, although on the Wrecking Ball nonetheless. But anyways, 3 minutes 51 on the clock here for Albany to push this. Only 89.60 meters. Look how high Ski's going. It's hacked though. The Sombra there denies any slam down points, but Llama able to find Abud though, so the Hanzo pick working out so far, at least from the very get-go. Now, if Llama can find more picks here, that would be great to get a Dragon Strike already 32% up and running. Ski's going to try to find anything in the back line. Here's where Ski excelled, right on this roadway. Protection Suzu'd out. Adol down to half health. Sumerian able to get back health as well. Llama already halfway to a Dragon Strike now, and they're just slowly pushing this up and forward, but really having no success here in the close realm. But Llama and Labam both traded out right away. So, I mean, if you're the defending side, you're not thinking this is too bad right now if you're at least South Florida, because you forced them back up just a little bit without a Lucio in play.
You wonder, though, if this is going to start taking a toll, as you only have the Rav healing for South Florida. They have to try and set back a little bit, but you can't fully settle around that corner like you would if this was the first round of this map. That cart only needs to go 20 more meters.
Oh, and now you have a great Bionade along with a slam down. Sumerian gets the kill, but what a final play there from both Ski as well. But now they have the EMP that's out that hits pretty much every single person here. So Albany's got a chance, though. It's not the Summer of Old, it's the Summer of New, which means that Nano Boost can be used on the Ski right away. Super Ski Ball, what can you do? Is there going to be a problem here in the back line, or South Florida going to be able to help themselves out? Keaton Air Rush available for Afterworld. Ravelemna does go down with it. Llama able to find two, and now the Dragon Strike down the middle. Ski does go down, but a Bionated Bebop is not good for the side of South Florida. The Bulls are being pushed up against the wall. Abood able to find Llama in the back line, but it should not even matter. The only person left is the Summer. Nobody else is going to make it on time, and Albany at the very start of the season brings out the broom as they sweep the Bulls 3-0.
They sweep them way back to their cage. What a showing from the Great Dane, standing tall. And man, what else can you say? It's Ski. Like, it's Ski Wrecking Ball. Not something we thought we were going to see today, but definitely something that made, I think, everyone's day better. Able to get the nano, and all of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, able to pick up the 4th shortly after. And the picks you didn't think we were going to see today. Before the show, we're like, you know, we may see the Orisa, we may see the Doomfist, we may see the Ramatra. I don't think we saw Wrecking Ball on that bingo card, and he even played that on a map that is, as you said, historically Sigma heavy, and just played phenomenally.
Yeah, an absolutely phenomenal thing. And I think right now, I mean, you would say at this point, your player of the match has to be Ski, but we'll see. Yeah, can't say it anymore. Can't say it anymore. I don't think there's much of a debate. Maybe you could say Sumerian, maybe you could say Storm Eagle, but I mean, there's no way it couldn't be Ski, especially from what Garden's on. I mean, Garden's on. It's just been the Ski show. So right now, the Great Danes off to a great start. They are now 1-0 on the season. Meanwhile, Bulls out of Tampa, they fall to an 0-1 start. But hey, still plenty of season left to go. Remember, 8 weeks here for the ECAC season, so plenty of time for them to get their bearings. And look, another season is coming up a week from now. So, I mean, in February 7th, that's where it all changes. We're going to probably have new patch notes. We're going to have a new Mythic skin, but besides the point there, a new Mythic skin for Kiriko. So, hey, it looks like it's going to be interesting coming up here from week 2 and on at the very least. But we'll talk about that in a little while. But when we come back, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to see if we can get an interview on from the winning side of the University of Albany, and we'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Not here. A little bit scary, if we're being honest. Getting warmed up, getting ready to cast some players. No, okay, not cast, interview. Change your mindset.
Words.
No, but last words until we come back.
Oh, okay.
Because we're leaving.
Enjoy.
Oh, that was good. Anything from you?
How are we doing, Polly?
Awesome, thank you so much for your time. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup. I am Septilence, and I get a really neat opportunity here. We get to interview Burns from E-United. Burns, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. We're on day 2 of the event. It's been a fantastic one. I ran into you yesterday, but we were running around like chickens with our heads off, and it has been, I mean, how has your time been here? What has this event kind of been like?
Yeah, it's great. I just love being in a passion pit, seeing all the college kids go at it. Reminds me of like an old school MLG event almost, but being like in the epicenter of the passion pit, seeing Rocket League, Valorant, Overwatch, and Smash, just it's amazing to see all of these schools compete against each other and get a shot to play on this main stage.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And tell us a little bit about kind of what is E-United, right? Because we know that you're here, we know you're here to represent them, but for the people that don't know, what is E-United?
Yeah, E-United was founded in 2016. We're a professional esports organization. We've been in League of Legends, Overwatch, all the way to Battle Right, I think it was called back in the day. Right right now in 2022, we are in Gears of War, Halo, Rocket League, PUBG, and announcing a new title tomorrow. I know, get the small intel here. So it's a lot of fun. I went pro in Call of Duty when I was younger. I ended up playing my last event under E United, switched in 2016, and I've been the GM ever since. So it's a true blessing to be able to stay with an organization for as long as I have, and we love giving back to the collegiate community. I actually graduated from Full Sail in 2013.
I was a little confused about the jersey. I was a little...
Yeah, so the Full Sail boys are out of the tournament, unfortunately, but I decided I would rep them today in their honor. Yeah, it's just great. I love working with younger individuals who are trying to find their path in esports, and these college kids are really showing what they're all about.
Yeah, so to be kind of an ex-pro player, where a collegiate scene at the time didn't exist, especially not to the scale right now, what is it like to see such high levels of success, such high levels of support for something that you weren't able to kind of get as much support in at the time, something that was looked down on a lot more?
Yeah, I'm extremely jealous. That's all I can say. Full Sail started their program in 2017. When I was there in 2011 and 12, it was just a bunch of nerds running around, just creating their own clubs. I was still striving to go pro, but now you have these opportunities to play on main stage, play in front of thousands of people. We just had locals back in the day. You would show up and play for like $200, $100. It was like lunch money.
Right.
Now these kids are playing for scholarships. They're playing for fame. They could pop off here and end up getting a sponsor for $10,000 or $20,000 from somebody.
Right.
So the opportunities are just endless at the moment, and I think it's just great that you basically can prove yourself and make anything happen right now.
It's instead of kind of what you had gone through, being in college and also trying to go pro, these kids can try to go pro while being in college. It's hand in hand instead of those two kind of battling kind of matchups. So if somebody's trying to go pro, right, they're like, Burns, I want to be you one day. I want to be the GM of United one day. What is that first step to really take it from a hobby to a passion, to a job?
Yeah, I think I've told this story a lot, but it's really, I thought about going pro every night before I went to bed.
Right.
Like, I lived and breathed Call of Duty for years. It was my life. I had to skip dinner sometimes. I had to skip family functions, and my family didn't really understand, but it was what I wanted to do, and it all worked out. But at the end of the day, you always need to kind of be organized. You have to have the ability to not put all of your eggs in one basket. So even though it worked out for me, there are so many opportunities in esports. There's being a caster or interviewing people. There's working in production. There's helping people get waters. Like, literally, there are so many opportunities. So, oh, this crowd's awesome.
They're going crazy, dude. They stayed on their last life right now.
Off subject, Smash, regardless if it's middle school, high school, college, it pops off all the time. I love it.
Well, Burns, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, guys.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's gonna jumped into it. Corner judges good for 1, 2, dip. He needs more. And they're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. College walks it in.
Toy Boy just gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Running.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the ECAC Top Plays of the Week. I am Septilance, and I'm super excited to walk through these with you so you can see all of the great moments we are getting out of collegiate esports. One of my favorite things about these seasons is as they go on, as the years continue to pass, the skill ceiling just gets higher and higher, and the teams get better and better. Starting things off in Week 1 and 2, these teams came out the gate swinging. Let's take a look at what they were ready to bring out in these early weeks. Valorant is a game all about risk versus reward, and Sin from NYIT wanted to show us just how much he was willing to risk to get that great reward of a round win.
Sort of forced to pop off, maybe get a little bit more sniper play, but these direct, tight angles make it tough. You have Axorus that actually gets a wallbang headshot onto Prime. Oh, that timing on the paranoia works so well.
Yo, give it up for the util, bro. Sin's gonna pick up 3 into the site. It's a lurk on its way from the chamber, but unless you're going to spam through this box, you're not getting anything done, and Panda won't even let him get that far.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a game that can be decided in milliseconds, and Waka, one of the best players from SUNY Canton A Squad, wanted to show us just what they can do with only a second and a single stock on the board.
Cena, Sledge option going to be charging forward smash, going a little early. They're not quite getting what you want. Drop shield after first hit and pick, getting hit by the kid. High percent. There is the stun into Claw. That Claw could have been charged for a lot longer. Oh my goodness, that's a forwarder into stage with the stage spike and then upping immediately after. What a sick.
1 point in Rocket League can never make a team feel comfortable, but Driftsy wanted to show us that not only was he going to pick the pace up, but he wasn't going to let his team down.
Defensive test with flying colors, though they couldn't get out, and that is the important part at the moment. Clears a must for UA, and it's just not in the cards at the moment.
Dripsy connects off the backboard. What a shot. I watched it unfold slowly. You stopped speaking at just the right moment.
Valorant is often called a team-based shooter, but sometimes it can't just be about the team. Sometimes you gotta have those hero plays. Spec wanted to spray and pray and was actually able to save the day for SVSU, tying up the series 7-7.
Hard B push here, 2 Omen smokes coming out. 1, oh, Spec just finds 3. What? Spraying through the smoke? Oh, what, Spec? That's not legal, man. That's not legal. This is match day 2 of the ECAC League. You can't be doing that right now. Spec just goes with the call.
Here in this clip, Fanshawe finds themselves with their backs against the wall, 20 seconds left on the clock, and they're desperate to take down Wake Forest. They don't have anything to get through this team, they don't have any weapons on the field, but with Jackie Moon in the wings, at least they had a sniper.
Apparently. Guys gonna believe all the shots. Oh, a sniper! Jackie Moon from about midway through. What a shot right here from Jackie.
Wow, good eye sniper. Yes, sir. Jackie Moon puts us on the right side. A little bit more to the left. This one would have been...
Welcome back, everybody, inside of the booth. Clutch Key and Twin Salty with you, and a little bit of a recap, if you will. Albany, the Great Danes defeating the South Florida Bulls 3-0 on what was a 2-1 Oasis game. That first 2 maps looked pretty close, and then all of a sudden the door went wide open for Albany there as they win 100-0 on City Center on the final map there. Midtown Circuit Royale 1-0, and very impressive last-minute fights, if you will, of sort of comeback fights from the team of University of Albany. And speaking of them, joining us from the Great Danes here is going to be Astroworld inside of the booth now. And Aster, a great job to you and your team overall. How does it feel to start off the season on a 1-0 start?
Feels like a great start, I gotta say. You know, we unfortunately lost a few members from this past semester, so to be able to get back into the season and, you know, come out with a good solid score, definitely a good morale boost for the team. Definitely get some questions out of the way about the team. So yeah, really comfortable.
I think you answered a lot of doubts tonight on that performance, especially, you know, on Midtown explicitly. What was going through your heads during that recontest near the end of your defense? It seemed like from our end, it was a done fight. We thought the Bulls were going to cap point, and all of a sudden, you guys just come charging in.
Yeah, no, you know, we're never gonna give up. So that was definitely Ski's idea. He told Llama just like basically just walk with him on 2 different ends, and honestly, it worked out. You know, and then we were coming back, and it all just came into fruition. We were like, oh my God, Llama just picked up 2 kills, and we're just like, all right, we're going to take it and run with it. The comms are like silent for like 2 minutes. Literally, everyone was just concentrating on killing their target. It was so fun.
So how are the vibes kind of feeling with this team right now? As you said, you lost a few members during the break. Now you have a few new members coming in. How is the team feeling, especially after that win today, for the rest of the season?
Yeah, no, it's a great statement for us, you know, because I guess because of those things happening, we were trying to figure things out. So this is definitely a good statement for us to like see that we're gonna still be good as a team. We're still gonna put our work in, and you know the results are gonna come with it no matter what.
And for you guys, a great statement indeed. Coming up, by the way, Astroworld joining us here inside of the booth with you. So for you guys now, only another season about 6 days away now. And actually another match day coming up on February 8th for ECAC. So you guys are basically going to be 1 day in to the new season coming up in a couple of days from now. How confident are you guys going into Season 3 of Overwatch 2 and moving along as a team throughout the rest of the season within Season 3?
Yeah, you know, a big thing, especially since Overwatch 2 really came out, I guess you'd say a bit more recent, is definitely just how well you can acclimate, how well you can adjust to the new meta. So that's definitely one thing we definitely want to try to stay on top of. We definitely don't want to just stagnate. So I think the biggest thing is just keeping up to date, you know, scrimming, constantly playing and stuff like that. It's definitely the key to win for us.
And a key to win is what you guys had today. So a great job to you and the rest of the team. And Astroworld, we thank you for joining us and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
You too, and thank you very much to Astroworld there for joining us here. And I mean, what a great start for Albany. I mean, you can't say more for Astroworld, for the rest of the team. Ski as well, just showing off. And look, we've said this behind the scenes, right? We were talking about this where for Albany, they played meta, they played off meta, they played the wrecking ball. I mean, you go down the line here of what Albany was doing, and it worked out every single time. So for this team in Masters Plus, watch out, because this team is going to run rampant if you allow them to.
They could definitely be a dark horse later in this season, especially if they really get a roll. Considering this is a team that just started to play as this full five. As he said, this did not look like a team that just started playing together as a full five. This looked like a team who have been playing together for almost a year now with the kind of chemistry they had. Even some of those setup plays on circuit, right? Like minefield, pile drive, nade comes in. Samaritan's waiting for them just to hit the peak of the pile drive jump, just so they can nail the shot. It was just perfect every single time. They are definitely a team to watch, and they benefit as well. They practically have a bye next week because of Mount kind of dropping out last second. So they have a week now to digest the new Season 3 meta instead of a lot of teams who will be jumping into it a day after the patch comes out. So it's a huge benefit for them.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting to see what Albany brings to the table later on in Season 3. But for right now, hey, Season 2, they're undefeated in Season 2, mind you. So
that's true.
Hey, that's a good start for you overall. Don't forget, folks, this is just the first week of ECAC and plenty of action coming up here in both Esports U and ECAC and throughout the networks as well. Coming up on Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you've got League of Legends, Wisconsin Green Bay taking on Ohio Northern. It's the Polar Bears and the Phoenix going at each other in the very first week of the ECAC League of Legends season. You do not want to miss that. Again, coming up on Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Special thanks going out to Colton, our producer, as well as Cool Scoots on the observing side. To you, my friend, great as always. And hey, first weekend, we're about to have a lot of fun coming up for the next date.
Oh, 1,000%. And thank you, my friend. And hopefully we'll see y'all next week.
Take care, everybody.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact.
I can't say that. I'll get in trouble. There's one for each game, so teams this weekend, somebody's going to have to explain to TSA why they're coming home with an extra trophy. Fine. We're fine. This is going to be great. Why is everybody staring at me? I'm not even doing anything yet. Is it because I'm in a suit? It looks nice. It's new. I'm stressing. It's all right. We win these. We absolutely win these. I've never seen us lose these. I love him. I don't remember his name. What is going on, everybody? And oh, are we ready? I'll start over. Okay. What's going on, everybody? We are here at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia. The players are just now entering the arena for day one. A lot of them had the opportunity to be here yesterday to get jerseys, to get familiar with the area, and to get to know one another. But today, the friendly gloves have to come off, and they are all here. Earlier, I was talking to these guys. This mannequin, when they didn't have anything else set up, I could see it from all the way down there, and I thought it was a person. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, why is he standing like that? And I thought it was like a smooth criminal. I thought somebody was giving us like a Michael Jackson impression, and then it was a mannequin. I was really embarrassed to admit that. Oh my God, that's a lot of people. Hold on, let's go over this window. Let's go over this window. It just keeps going. There's so many people outside. There are so many people outside. We're gonna interview people when they come in. I don't really want to go outside. It looks like it's gonna rain, and this suit is new, so. Oh, there's Doc Haskell. Hi, Doc, how are you? He brings a full notebook with him and like writes notes down. It was pretty insane. He had it yesterday. He's gonna be coming through this metal detector right here. I don't know his name though, but I recognize his hair.
Jen.
You're Jen? All right, we're gonna interview Jen, who's supporting Kennesaw. I'm gonna ask you like a couple of very simple questions. Okay. Are we ready? All right, great. College. I really like Georgia College's color scheme. It's just red, white, and blue, I think, but I think they did it in a really clever way. Mineral area wearing hoodies, even though it is 75 degrees outside here in Atlanta, Georgia. Absolute legends.
If only Nick could hear you. Nick, come back.
If he's over 100 feet away, he can't.
You were whispering something, and he started smiling. I'm like, are you whispering?
Oh yeah, because he's got his headphone in if we're close enough. But
Bless you.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit again. You're welcome. All right, I'm gonna go find him. Oh, there he is. Oh my. Oh, okay. Real stuff is starting. Real stuff. Competitive integrity needs to be upheld. We gotta get out of here. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I get really embarrassed when I get yelled at.
30 is
Okay. Wow, it's not 10:30 yet.
It's only barely 10.
Woo! All right, it's gonna be a long. Hey, what's up? Surprise interview. Join me over here so we have a cool backdrop. What are we here for?
Rocket League.
Awesome. I'm not going to ask what school you go to because unless you swapped hoodies, that seems pretty clear.
Nope. You know, I got my jersey on with my name on it.
Oh, you do? Show us your jersey. Look at John T. Turbo here.
Yeah,
that's not his name. I just keep calling him that.
Yeah.
His name is John, but
my name is John Turbesi.
Yeah,
that's
not John T. Turbo.
Yeah, I get the message that I'm going to Nebraska where I met you.
Oh, that's so crazy. So context, if we're probably not going to use this, but we're going to talk about it. Turbo and I met at a LAN like over a year ago. That's so crazy. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. I am Sebdolence, joined by a man I have interviewed probably well over 10 times. It's going to be my good friend Neb, here from Bay State Overwatch team. Neb looked at me before he started his last series, and he said, we are not dropping a map for the rest of the day. And so far, he has lived up to that title. But Neb, is there anybody you're thinking, we've got to get them out of the way, we've got to take them down?
No.
No? Just looking at it, each fight's its own, every game? Going into it, just taking it as it comes?
I have the confidence right now that we're not going to drop a single map.
I love Neb because not only is he confident, but he's correct. Bay State is one of the best Overwatch teams I've ever seen. So it's always good to hear. I love the confidence, and I love Bay State, so I hope they do a great job this weekend. So what qualifier, did you win a qualifier to get here?
At-large bid.
We're looking at Rocket League, we're thinking high odds, low odds, where do we think we're walking away?
I think pretty high. I think we're doing pretty good.
Is there anybody that you're looking at, you're like, please do not let us go up against them unless we absolutely have to?
I mean, really, everybody's good competition, so.
And sorry, what was your name?
Ethan.
Ethan from Mineral Area.
Yep.
Very exciting. Well, Ethan, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. What kind of pass? A player pass?
Let me get your lanyard.
No, you actually have to like tape it to your chest, like really awkwardly with masking tape. Okay. And it's gonna fall off. Yeah. It's gonna be uncomfortable, I promise. That's a guarantee. Okay, cut that, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, great. I'm great, everything's good.
Who do we interview? Who should we interview?
I don't know, I'm just here. I need caffeine.
Week number 7 of the ECAC highlights is finally here, and this is, I know you guys are about to be like, whoa, why does he say every week is a banger? But this one is so real. There are some really impressive plays, some kind of like one in a million moments that I have never seen before that I'm really eager to show you guys and share with you, so let's jump right into it. Oh, also, I guess I'm Septulence. You probably know that by now, but it's always nice to introduce myself. All right, let's get to the clips. Now, clip number 8 to kick things off might not be flashy, but by golly, is it impressive. CSUMB guaranteeing themselves their 4th and final win to 4-0, the powerhouse team known as UNCG Gold.
From Greensboro, final seconds ticking away. Here comes Garrett's. They're trying maybe to walk away with one more missed contact.
Brutal.
Oh my goodness, insult to injury at this point in time. As the all zeros are on the clock, he gets another one, and Monterey Bay do it again. They pull off the sweep over Greensboro.
Clip number 7 of this week might be the fastest 0 to 100 clip we've seen in quite a while. Ashton, from the side of SVSU, just barely clutches out a victory for his team to start things off a little bit better on Icebox.
Weapons utility, here's the flank from the Viper. And only good for one, but has distracted enough.
The one, the timing is there for Ashton. And he salvages the round, reclaims control for SVSU.
The Joker versus Game & Watch matchup is definitely a weird one, but Pato from Iona University certainly does not crack under the pressure.
Nice. Ooh, almost gets the berry from that. That could have been a kill. Alright, so funny enough. Oh, what a chase! Oh my god, that was deep.
Fisher versus Ball State Black, two very strong teams in the world of collegiate Overwatch, and we even get to see Ninja Curly Fry and Depresso on that Sojourn. They both pop their overclock, and unfortunately, one of them finds a little bit more success than the other.
The beat is going to keep them safe as they are knocked back towards their team. Depresso, though, coming up clean with headshot after headshot. And as Ninja Curly pops their overclock, guess what? Nikon answers with a beat in kind, and now Depresso using their overclock. Unbelievable, too! They're looking for the third one, but Nev's going to take it from them, and it's going to be Me98 once again on the payload. It's a tale as old as time, though.
For our 4th place slot, our technical honorable mention, it's going to be Neon from the side of Stevenson playing, well, Neon. They have that overdrive already online, that ultimate prepared, and even without using it, they already farm half of another one.
Really sorry, Oath. You're not going to enjoy what happens next. Yeah, that's a 3K. Neon looking for a 4th and is able to catch it. A flawless on the save.
Now this clip is one for the ages. The game just starting off, CSUMB loses ball control, and the casters, they love the new name change. Before they can even focus on the game itself, somebody's already put that ball in goal. It's truly a blink and you miss it moment.
Is making a joke, right? Making a joke on our expense based on what we think
my
of him.
goodness,
Oh,
Calflick.
Wow. Okay. Calflick, everything in a bag of chips on this one. 71 miles an hour is breaking almost every speed limit in the United States of America, right?
But yeah, that was just...
In our second medal spot of the week, it's going to be a huge play from Ball State's Roadhog player Spencer. Gets caught in the ship above second point Gibraltar, but the other team will very quickly learn he was not trapped in there with them. They were trapped in there with him.
To the next checkpoint, and Spencer narrowly managing to stay alive, gets a hook on Diva, and the whole hog is going out. Spencer getting a kill on him, double kill, triple kill on a Trader's mech, and Trader's as well, triple kill with the face mist.
And in our number 1 highlight spot of the week is a play absolutely incredible from RPI. If you've ever heard me personally cast Valorant, I always talk about the importance of trigger discipline. I could not think of a better example than this.
Backside's there. Crosshair was waiting, but Spec wins out the duel against Moses. It's just Mandigo. Nobody spotted him. A chance for 3. Denies the spike. Headshot on the next. It's a 1v1 here. Onus on the sky to make the play. There's the Seeker to distract. Spec swings out, but it's a 4K for the KO.
And now, I must shed a tear, because week 7 is over. It comes and goes so quickly, but at least we've got some more weeks to look forward to, and the entirety of the spring is just around the corner, so, you know, we're done, but we're not fully done, you know what I mean? It's always a pleasure to be here, folks. Still Septilins, please follow ECAC on all of their main channels, because it is always, you never know what's coming next over there. Thank you so much for watching. Check your posture, drink some water,